What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of I'll Call You Right Back podcast with me, your host. Chad Medved is the name. Welcome to the podcast. Please, if you could, take a second, scroll up on your podcast app right now and rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast if you love me. That's all you have to do to support this podcast. I do not ask for anything of you guys, and that is a huge help for me, and it only takes a couple seconds. 5-star review, if you could, please. You know, if you got nothing nice to say, please just skip the rate, review, and subscribe process that I just mentioned. That'll be greatly appreciated by me. A big shout out to Turner Dairy Farms, the creators of by far the best premium iced tea in the city. Turner's Premium Tea is a staple in the city of Pittsburgh. I've probably drank over 100 gallons of Turner's tea in my life. I would love to know how many I've had, but I've drank a good bit of Turner's tea, and I have been on a diet Turner's tea kick lately. Zero sugar, you know, I'm trying to stay away from the sugar, but the diet Turner's tea is absolutely fantastic. But whenever I'm getting a little crazy and I want a little sugar rush, I jump right on over to that chocolate banana limited edition flavored milk that Turner Dairy Farms just put out. And I found out, I've said on here before that my bodega usually does not have any of the limited edition flavors, but I went up there today to get my what's in the cup for the guests this week, and I saw a half gallon of the chocolate banana flavored Turner's milk, and you already know I grabbed one, and it's sitting in my fridge right now, and I'm about to pour myself a nice glass of it. And I strongly suggest all of you people that if you have not yet, go to whatever bodega / corner store / Unimart / whatever name you subscribe to, and go grab yourself a bottle of the limited edition chocolate banana Turner Dairy milk, and you will not be disappointed. But I suggest you go do it now, because it's going to sell out. It absolutely is going to sell out. When it does, no one knows, but it's pretty damn good. Thing I wanted to touch on. We had Salim's, Salim's. It's in the Strip District. It is a restaurant. I just wanted to touch on it again because, I've told a few people about Salim's, whatever you call it, and, there's still people in the city that have not heard about it yet, and I'm just trying to go on top of a mountaintop and scream at the top of my lungs that I love that spot. And the chili chicken that they put out on the regular, absolutely breathtaking. But if you haven't had it yet, they're not a sponsor or nothing, but they're just damn good, and we've been getting them a lot. Another thing, this weekend there is something ran by Bike Pittsburgh. It's called Petal Pittsburgh. Usually it is an event in the city where people meet up at Southside, and they all start at one time, but due to coronavirus regulations, they kind of altered their process of what they do. And now it's basically just a 4-day event where you could go and ride one of these pre-thought out routes around the city of Pittsburgh. And they have one that's 5 miles, one that's 15 miles, one that's 25 miles, and then one that's 40 miles. And, I've been riding my bike a lot, and I'm going to do that this weekend, and I'm pretty damn nervous about it. But I think that the registration is still open. So if you like riding bikes and you want to rip a bike, go on Bike PGH, and you will find the Petal Pittsburgh event that's about to be going on. You donate some money to a great cause. You donate it to Bike Pittsburgh, and they all that money goes back into making sure that Pittsburgh is a great city to bike in, because it absolutely is. If you haven't been on a bike around the city yet, you're missing out on something that we have in the city that a lot of people probably don't take advantage of. But I'm excited to get on my bike and try to get 40 miles this weekend. I know it's going to be a beast, but if you're going to ride, hit me up. Maybe we'll meet up. Be wearing masks and saying 6 feet away. You already know that. Got to keep safe. But yeah, that's what's going on this week, and that's what I am excited for. But what else I'm excited for? The reason that everyone is here, as usual, I have an absolutely fantastic episode this week. This week I'm talking to Danny Kroll. Danny Kroll is a equipment manager for the Pittsburgh Penguins. He has been an equipment manager for the Pittsburgh Penguins for, I think he said 2002, 2003, so 17, 18 years, give or take a couple months. And before Danny was the equipment manager for the Penguins, he was a bat boy for the Pirates back in back in the day. And not in the day, like he's not old, but he was back in the heyday, Jason Kendall, Brian Giles. So this week we just have an episode about all Pittsburgh stuff. It's a yin-splosion, as Mikey and Big Bob would call it. And we talk about what it's like being a bat boy for the Pirates, what it's like being a bat boy for the Pirates during this slump that they've been having for the last, close to a couple decades. But then we talk about how he migrates over from working at the Pirates to being a full-time employee and equipment manager at the Pittsburgh Penguins. And this whole episode, we're talking about superstitions of hockey players. We're talking about rituals. We're talking about what goes into making a hockey night in Pittsburgh happen. And, the equipment managers, those are the guys that are, obviously you got the players that are making shit happen, but the equipment managers are the ones that are like getting everything ready. If Sidney Crosby doesn't have his stick with the lack thereof curve, he's not going to be scoring a bunch of goals. If Malkin doesn't have no skates, he's not going to be, skating up and down the ice. So the equipment managers, those are the guys. Those are the guys on the front line, making sure everything's running smoothly. Got a quick smelling salt in the pocket to toss a player whenever he needs it. Got a new skate blade whenever he needs it. And Danny was super cool to come over and just spend some time with me and talk to me all about what it's like working for our Pittsburgh Penguins and Pirates. But it was just such a great episode. I'm a hockey guy. I love hockey. Who doesn't love hockey? Who doesn't love the Penguins? But, talking to Danny about like what happens behind the scenes is just, that's what I live for, obviously. That's why I started the podcast, I want to ask people the questions I want to ask them, and I want to know the answers. And Danny was so cool to just, chop it up with me for a couple hours. And, he brought me over some swag, I'm just, every day I'm thankful for the podcast and what it has grown into being. And, I'm proud of myself for, making this podcast what it is. And I'm just thankful for the people in the city that, give me a chance and, want to come on the podcast. I got people hitting me up all the time that want to come on now. Before I couldn't even find people to come on here. And, it really makes me, I have a lot of gratitude whenever I step back and look at what's going on with the podcast and the range that it has and the amount of people that listen and the numbers each day. And, it just makes me proud of what it is. And, I'm proud of what it is becoming. You know what I mean? We're not stopping here. It's just, full tilt ahead. And, so anyway, I'm done talking your ear off, and I just want to say thanks to everyone. So without further ado, episode 131 of I'll Call You Right Back podcast with Danny Kroll of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
I gotta use the telephone.
Hello?
Telephone.
I'll call you right back. Call you right back.
Telephone.
I'll Call You Right Back podcast. I've been leaving the air conditioner on because it's just a beast outside.
I know. Oh, it feels good.
Absolutely ridiculous outside now. But we're about to get into fall, so it'll be...
It's coming quick.
it'll be nice to not have to have the air conditioner on because, like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure half the people that listen to this are like, I can't really hear it. Like, I've asked people, I'm like, do you hear like a buzzing in the background? They're like, not at all.
No.
But for me, it's like, I'm so nitpicky.
Yeah.
I'm like, God, I could hear it just ringing in my ears.
Sure.
But, you know how it is.
For sure.
People get crazy about stuff, but this has been a while. This has been a long time coming, and I'm pumped that we're doing it. We got so first thing, I do an opening segment with all my guests. It's called "What's in the Cup."
What's in the cup?
What's in your cup?
I got a Fiji bottled water.
We got this 1.5 liter Fiji.
Big one.
It's been a long time since I had Fiji water. I'm usually a Deer Park guy.
Well, I'll tell you how I got into it. Back with the Penguins, like 2007 or 8, we acquired Gary Roberts. You might remember Gary Roberts.
Oh yeah, I remember Gary Roberts. Yeah.
So he came to the Penguins, and we had, I think, Dasani, in the fridges, and he's like, we got to get Fiji in here because he's like a health freak. He's like the scariest, toughest 42-year-old back then.
Yeah.
So I was never a bottled water guy. Like at home, I just drink right out of the sink or out of the refrigerator.
Tap water.
Yeah, tap water.
You got a damn hose outside.
I got a big plastic souvenir cup with a pirate schedule on the side.
Yeah.
That's all I need. But I love Fiji just by drinking it at work, and like I always have one in my car, take it with me. Like that's my
it's not a bad water at all. I think the only reason that I've drank
delicious.
Deer Park is because there was like a water, I can't remember the name, but he's like a water, not a souvenir, but it's like a wine. It's another term for like a wine, but he was on a podcast and he was talking about like different bottles of water. And he was like, your Deer Park is probably your best bet as far as like minerals and shit. Yeah, who cares about water? It's water.
I know, water's water, but
Fiji water.
Fiji's a little step
Whenever I was
above.
growing up, this was like the tippy top. This was
Yeah,
like,
I
if you're
know.
getting Fiji water, you're like balling out a
It's
little
big
bit.
time. Yeah, it's delicious.
So how long you been with the Penguins?
I started, I believe, the 02-03 season.
That long you been with them?
Yeah, my first few years, I was just like a game night stick boy.
Yeah.
Wasn't a full-time gig yet.
Yeah.
And I finished school in 2006, University of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And thankfully, the Penguins asked me to join full-time.
Wow.
And that's kind of how it got started.
What a job.
Yeah.
And just been riding out since then.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
That's a journey.
Yeah.
That's an absolute
Long time.
journey. Now,
Yep.
now I know from a couple of the mutual people that we know, they
Sure.
said that you were also a bat boy.
Yeah, for the Pirates.
What years?
2000 to 06.
2000. So you were that for 6 years. Like,
Well, technically 7. That's 7.
oh yeah, I guess that's 7 seasons for
I
sure.
get confused too. But no, I did the last year at Three Rivers Stadium,
Yeah, really.
and then the first 6 at PNC Park.
wow.
Yeah.
that is crazy.
It was awesome because I'm a baseball guy.
How old are you?
Right now, 37.
37. So what? How were you? 20 whenever you did this?
I was like 17.
Yeah, I guess it's
16,
quick math.
17 is when I got involved.
Wow, and it's
Yeah.
like, were you always like a big sports guy?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you had to be, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
Yep.
how does that even happen for a 17-year-old to get involved with that?
Family friend of ours was
Yeah.
a bullpen catcher for the
Oh,
Pirates.
really?
So he'd be down in the bullpen. He wore the uniform. Like, he looked like a player, but all he did was he was a bullpen catcher.
Yeah, just caught for
Yeah.
warm-ups and shit like that?
And I was like any kid that knew him. I'd go down and say hi. I was at a game, try to get a ball off him or something.
Yeah.
And one day I'm down there with my cousin. He's like, Danny, how old are you? I'm like, 16. He's like, you want to work down here? I said, yeah.
Absolutely.
And I didn't know what he meant by that. Like, would I be taking tickets or
Yeah.
selling peanuts? So he's like, I'll have the equipment manager or clubhouse manager. He's like, I'll have the clubhouse manager call you. I said, sure. So that fall, like, I never heard from anybody that winter. And I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And Pirates were in spring training. And I got a call, like, maybe a week before the season started.
Really?
I was scared. I'm like, is this going to happen or what?
Yeah.
And they kind of gave me just an interview over the phone, just like, how old are you? Do you go to school? What time can you get to work every day? Do you
Yeah.
drive? Things like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I gave them all my information, and they're like, all right, we'll bring you in on a 2-week basis. You know, if we like you, we'll keep you. And I was there 7 years.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
It was awesome.
What now?
Yeah, I loved it.
I was never a big baseball guy. Like,
Yeah.
I never followed along with it a lot.
Yeah.
What was like, were they good back then? Would not?
No.
No?
I saw a lot of losing, kind of like they are now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
They had that run in, 13 through 15.
Yeah,
Those
like,
3
I
years
couldn't
of
remember
wild
when that
cards.
was.
Yeah, it wasn't long ago, but yeah, I saw a lot of bad teams. Like
That's all right though.
I remember the one year we were Pirates were 30-30, 60 games in, 500.
Yeah.
Still 100 games to go.
Yeah.
We were 30-30, and I was like excited. I'm like, wow, we're still 500.
Yeah,
like,
it's still
that's how bad it was.
negating like any like even playing.
Yeah, there wasn't high expectations. You know
That's
what I mean?
that's pretty wild though. I mean, like that's cool that like you kind of migrated from one franchise to the other. That's
I did
dope.
both for a while because a guy I worked with the Pirates, he did the Penguins as well, and he's like, hey, you want to come do the Penguins in the baseball offseason? I said, yeah. And back then, the Penguins weren't any good, so they weren't making the playoffs either. So it was perfect for me. Like it was like a year-round gig. Like right when the Penguins ended, the Pirates started, and vice versa. It was like a full year season, full year gig.
That's awesome.
It was good. I was at school and
that's pretty cool. Like
I was doing both.
That's such like a normally people like whenever I was like 17, I was at one point delivering pizzas. I was working at a coffee shop. To be a bat boy would be dope.
I worked at a $1 discount at Castee Village.
Oh yeah,
over in Whitehall. That's when I got the call from the Buckos.
Yeah, you're like, all right, I'm going now.
Yeah,
I'm going too.
Before that, I was a caddy.
Oh really?
And I know you're a golf guy.
Yeah.
South Hills Country Club.
I've never played there, but I've heard
once.
a bunch of people tell me that
it's nice.
It was nice up there.
Back then, like getting a $20 bill was a
big deal.
I was like, man, thank you.
Yeah, now people are peeling off all kinds of money.
Maybe.
It's now
it was
so
fun.
Like before you got into all this, like what did you do? Like what kind of kid were you? Like were you playing sports like everyone else?
Yeah.
Were you just into?
I had a group of buddies in the neighborhood. We'd play street hockey in the street, and we do tennis ball, baseball in the backyard.
That's the best.
Metal bat, tennis ball.
Best.
It was
crushing over a house.
We had a lot of fun.
Now, do you ever notice kids nowadays doing stuff like that? Because I feel like that there's there's a very it's a rare sighting.
Yeah,
I
got their phones and video games.
I know it's like people are immediately on their screens. I remember driving.
We're all guilty of that.
We are all guilty. I'm addicted to my phone 100%. I remember driving to my mom's probably like a month ago, and I saw like a front yard that was filled with like 5 bikes. And I was like, holy shit, like, you don't really see like a bunch of...
Yeah, that's surprising. I thought they had like cobwebs on them.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You don't see like a bunch of like, that was like the sign back in the day. It's like everyone's
here.
Yeah, everyone's over at that kid's house. And you're like, all right, well...
They were never at my house because we had a small yard.
Yeah.
It wasn't the best, but my friends had better yards and...
Yeah, we like...
basketball hoop and all that.
I remember like whenever I was young, whenever we lived over by like Sarah High School, we would play like Manhunt. Like my brother was 6 years older than me. He's 37, and he, like we would have a squad of people that would always just like, kind of get together and play, and it was always cool to have like a big surrounding group of kids to grow up with. Now, I'm curious, what are the obligations of a bat boy?
Well, pretty much just getting the field ready for batting practice.
Yeah, they
go out and hit before the game around anywhere maybe like 4 o'clock, 4:30.
Yeah.
So you'd have the basket of balls you got to bring out to the mound. The grounds crew takes care of all the cages they put up and the L screens and that sort of stuff. But we'd put the water and Gatorade in the dugout and all the towels, the sunflower seeds obviously were a big thing in baseball.
Yeah.
Bubble gum. We put out the bats and the helmets for the guys.
Now, is it true nowadays that people are not allowed to chew tobacco technically in baseball?
That's what I heard.
I think that I've heard that, but back then, was that a thing?
Oh yeah,
yeah. Like
my first year,
people were chewing.
At Three Rivers Stadium, there was a tobacco trunk in the clubhouse.
Really,
the guys just took what they wanted out of it. I don't know who supplied it or.
That is unreal.
Yeah, but
a tobacco treasure chest.
If I'm not mistaken, I think a few years into my tenure there, we'd assign a contract saying that we wouldn't buy tobacco for the players.
Really?
Yeah, I might be wrong, but I think
that's pretty interesting to think about.
Because they were trying to cut back on it, the whole tobacco thing, and because guys would give us $50 and say, "Hey, go get me this or that," and we weren't allowed to anymore.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I think that's
pretty interesting to think about. And I mean, like, so during games, you're also like, going to get a bat,
Yeah, I sat on a stool right by the on deck circle. I was actually closer to the batter than the pitcher.
Jeez.
I was close, so like you had to watch every pitch because you could get hit
foul tipped
anytime.
off your head. That would be.
You had to be alert.
That would be an interesting. It was
a blast. I had the best view in PNC. It was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't
best view in baseball.
Couldn't do much better than that. And then like Three Rivers being taken down, and then like we get this like one of the greatest stadiums like ever built.
Yeah, the Pirates did it right. PNC is. I've been to most of the ballparks in the country. I'd say maybe 2/3 of them, 20 or so. And PNC's one of the best, top three for sure. In my opinion.
I love going to games. I don't watch any baseball on TV.
It's hard to watch on TV. I admit it's a boring game.
It's been,
even though I love it, it's boring.
You know how you kick up the fun is I throw a couple shekels on there, a couple bucks on there. That's right. It's like I had like $10 in my account. Yep. It's like you throw like $2 on there, and you're like nothing about it. I'll pick 2 baseball teams on a parlay, and you're like
$2, and you're screaming at the TV like your house is on the line.
Oh my god! I almost came up $1,000 the other day on a $30 parlay with basketball. I don't watch sports too much. I watch hockey. I don't even watch football or nothing. But there ain't nothing else to do, so I'm watching this basketball, and my buddy, he sends me a screenshot of like a 4-team parlay, and he won like $650 off like a $20 bet.
It's amazing.
I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go out there and just do a couple.
Yeah, you can really clean up on.
Makes
a parlay.
It fun. It makes it interesting. Even if there's like a $5 bill on there, you're like, damn, like I could win 30 here.
He was betting on like ping pong.
Oh, I know. You can get. I saw that table tennis on there
before the real sports came back.
It's insane. People get crazy into that.
Nuts.
Now, so baseball, like if you're the bat boy and stuff like that, I'm sure you got to I'm sure you got to see a lot of I'm sure you got to see a lot of cool shit.
Yeah.
But it's like, how does that kind of fade off, and like how do you kind of change jobs,
change gears to hockey?
Yeah.
It was easy because basically I do the same stuff as I did in baseball.
Yeah.
In baseball, I was a bat boy, but we're also clubhouse attendants.
Yeah,
so we're doing the laundry,
I'm sure you're doing all kinds of shit,
all that stuff. We're stocking the fridges in the clubhouse, and we do that with the Penguins. Laundry's a big part of our job. We do all that dirty work that you might not see on the TV.
It's because you start stinking after.
Yeah.
Equipment stinks. That's it.
We're moving the gear a lot, hanging the gear, loading the gear up, sending it here or there. And, we did a lot of that in baseball.
Were you more of a baseball guy, or were you more of a hockey guy?
Well, I never played hockey growing up.
Yeah.
Just like I said, with my buddies in the street.
Yeah.
Like, believe it or not, I don't even know how to ice skate.
Oh, I don't know how to ice skate.
Yeah.
I have to use the buckets whenever I go to the ice skating rinks.
I would need those too. I have a pair of old skates, but I really need to venture out there and learn.
It's hard to do, you know, like it's way easier when you're younger.
Yeah.
They say that about anything. Like a younger person's mind is more malleable, and you could like retain stuff more.
Yeah.
I feel like a bull in a china shop.
I think it's too late for me.
Yeah. It's like I made it 30 years. I don't need to. I'll go down to the tree and I'll look at it and watch people skate around it, but I'm cool on
I feel
solid
bad
ground.
because my wife likes to ice skate and she always wants to go. Not always, but she wants to go one day, and I'm like, I'll stand on the side and watch.
Yeah. My wife was like, let's go rollerblading at the one place, and I was like, this was like before my wife. So whenever it was like it's your girlfriend, you want to do fun stuff.
Yeah.
And it's things that you don't normally would ever do.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, let's go rollerblading, and I was like, all right, I'll go rollerblading. Immediately, my feet felt like they were smashing a vice.
I couldn't do that either.
I fell, ridiculous.
I might be paralyzed. I can't do it.
Insane.
But now, I played baseball and basketball growing up.
Yeah, that's how everyone is. It's like
Never
basketball,
ice hockey.
baseball.
Yeah.
I never played hockey growing up. I played like some deck hockey at the Boys and Girls Club, but
That's cool.
It's like I feel like that those are like the generic types of sports. It's like you got basketball, baseball, and hockey, or basketball, baseball, and soccer. It's like people play like a couple years each year, and
I
then
never got into soccer.
Me either. I was way
bit.
too big for that.
Not a soccer guy at all.
Now, so you migrate to the Pens.
Yeah.
And you said that was in what year? 2002.
I think it was 02-03.
Now,
yeah, I'm pretty sure. And then a year or two later, we had we missed a whole season with the lockout.
Oh yeah.
So there was a whole season where there was no hockey.
I forgot all about that. That was in when? 2013?
No.
Or 2003?
03 or 4,
03.
05,
Yeah.
back then. And
I feel like it all just runs together now.
we missed half a season, I think 2013. We only
Man.
played I think it was a 48 game season. That year we lost to Boston in the conference final.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got a bunch of guys at the deadline.
Man,
and
I
we
forgot
were
all
looking
about that
good.
lockout. I forgot all
Yeah.
about that
Couldn't
lockout.
get past Boston.
That's
Yeah.
it's unfortunate.
It was, yeah.
But I mean, like you get in there and it's like, you know, they brought you in. What was the title in the beginning? You said.
I said like game night stick boy.
Yeah, it's like
Just a part time. I'd come in 2 hours before the game.
and it was the same deal as what you were doing for the Pirates.
Basically, yeah.
Just you know, whatever they need help with.
I would ever since I've been with the Penguins on game nights, I operate the visitors locker room.
Oh yeah.
So I'm taking care of the visiting teams, believe it or not.
Jeez, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's different. It's cool. So back then at Mellon Arena, the benches were across the ice from the locker rooms, which is pretty rare anymore.
Yeah.
So I'd have to set up the bench with the water and the Gatorade and the towels and the tape and the spare sticks, and we'd push it all over in a shopping cart.
That's insane.
Yeah, and we'd carry the spare sticks over our shoulder and walk them across the ice. It was a little dicey, but
Now,
thankfully I never fell.
if you're someone that's like kind of getting all this set up, like, is there like a set amount of like everything that you need that's there, or is it kind of just like a ballpark? Like, does there
of a
need to be
ballpark.
80 rolls of tape there?
No, not that many, but we have like a supply list that the league kind of mandates, and you kind of got to follow that.
Okay.
But then you have a team that comes in and say, hey, can we get extra clear tape out there? Or can we get 20 extra towels? It's, just little stuff like that.
Small
No
things.
big deal.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, just little things. But there is like a set amount. Like you got to have this many shower towels in the shower.
Yeah.
You got to provide these toiletries.
Yeah.
You got to provide water, Gatorade in the fridge. We supply Red Bull now.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, some guys like Red Bull before a game.
Ripping a Red Bull before the game.
Yeah.
I feel like my heart would explode. Maybe them guys are running on red all the time. Probably
That
going
stuff
nuts.
grosses me. I think it's disgusting.
Red Bull.
Ugh.
I was
Even
never
the smell of it.
I was never a
Gross.
big fan, and then I used to drink like that Monster Rehab. It was like a tea,
Yeah,
and then I started drinking sugar-free Red Bull, and I enjoy it now. You know, that little kick in
Sure.
the morning, you can't beat it.
Yeah.
It's now if you're doing this in the beginning, now are you like are you nervous about this? Like starting this? I mean,
I was because I was a fan growing up.
Yeah, that's what
Like my first day,
I didn't mean like nervous. I meant like
No,
kind of
no.
apprehensive about that because
a little
it's like,
starstruck.
Yeah, starstruck almost.
Yeah. Like, here's a funny story. My very first day with the Pirates, 3 River Stadium. I had to be at the park that night, like late at night. They were flying in from Bradenton from spring training.
Yeah.
And I think opening day was a day or two later. And a couple of the guys showed me around, like, here's the clubhouse, here's the kitchen, here's the laundry room, here's the medical area, here's the weight room.
Yeah.
And we had the Final Four on TV because it was NCAA that was going on, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we get a call that the plane landed and the players were on their way to the stadium. I'm like, all right, cool. And the guys start filing in, and the clubhouse guys, we're all waiting for them, right? And we're sitting around a TV watching a game.
Yeah.
So naturally, all the players kind of came over, checked the score. And Jason Kendall was on the team back then. He was like one of the main guys.
Yeah, the main guys.
And he just looked at me. He goes, "Who the fuck are you?" And I'm like, "I'm Danny." And I put out my hand. He goes, "Hi, Danny. I'm Jason. Nice to meet you."
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's pretty cool. He was the best. He was awesome.
That's a cool moment that like
I'll never forget it.
Yeah, you'll never forget stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild. Jason Kendall.
Remember him?
Yeah, I do remember
Yeah.
him. Like for being someone that doesn't watch any of the baseball,
Yeah,
like
you
he was
still-
like one of the main names.
Him and Brian Giles back
Brian
then.
Giles.
They were the two big guys.
Now, back then, for being in a team that is, not doing too good.
Yeah.
Is there tensions that are high? Is there like quarrels between like people in there that you notice?
I didn't see anything extreme like that.
I was always curious like about that for like, you watch like Major League and it's a stereotypical movie.
Yeah.
It's
It's one of the best ever.
one of the best movies ever, and they sucked in the beginning and like, I'm not harping on the Pirates. Everyone
No,
knows.
I love the Pirates.
Yeah. It's
We all
like
do.
everyone loves that P. But it's like I always wonder, it's like if everyone's like losing, does it piss everyone off to a
Yeah,
point where you're like,
it's hard.
this is your fault, like, and I thought that was interesting. interesting.
I know they had some closed doors meetings a few times. Just players kind of maybe hashing it out.
For sure.
I mean, what can you do?
What can you do? You got to get through it. You got all those people that are like, the best of, if you think about like that, everyone on a team is probably the best of them growing up.
Yeah, right.
Every single person on that team
best high school player,
was the best high school, college player.
Yeah.
And like all them people around are just clashing together. And it's like there got to be some, sometimes there got to be some waves in the ocean.
Yeah.
There.
I'm sure there were. I didn't really see anything.
That's cool though. I mean, like it's cool that you got to. I feel like if do you think there might have been a little bit less pressure that it wasn't like a
the Yankees? Or
yeah,
Red Sox.
like the Yankees
big,
or something like that.
Teams. Possibly.
Yeah.
Because maybe they just they're like, hey, we are who we are. Like we're not gonna be that good. Let's just go.
I feel like it would be funner almost. Like
that's a good point.
I feel like it would kind of be funner. There wouldn't be too much pressure.
I'm sure when the Yankees lose 2 in a row, the city wants to
burn them down.
Yeah, you know
it's
what I mean?
like people probably turn their backs on them. But it's like if you're at the bottom of the barrel and you like win, you go on a 3-game run. Everyone's like, "This is it, baby. This is a year."
That's a great point. Actually. Yeah.
It's interesting.
Those wild card runs in 13, 14, and 15 were amazing. I was at that wild card game in 13, the blackout game against the Reds.
Yeah.
It was
Isn't that the one where he dropped the ball?
Yeah, Johnny Cueto.
Yeah.
That was one of the funnest nights ever. I'll never forget it.
I just watched a video the other day about that, and I forgot all about it.
Yeah, it was like 20 years of fan frustration and all,
just came out at one time.
It was awesome.
Man, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a great game.
Now, 2002, 2003, whenever you went in there, like who were like the main guys back then? You said you had Gary Roberts back then.
No, he wasn't there till about 07. Yeah.
Who was back there?
Mario was around.
Yeah.
I think Alexei Kovalev was there.
Oh, wow.
Yager might have been there. I
can't even.
No, I think he was gone.
I don't even know the years.
I don't either. They run together for me, and it's just like
I don't even know the years because like I was like 2002, 2003. I was like 12, 13.
Right. Yeah.
And that was back whenever it was like we would go to a game if if we got tickets somewhere.
Yeah.
Like we weren't like
Same
following along super crazy.
No.
But
because Penguin games were expensive.
Oh, expensive!
I went many years without making it to a game.
Yeah, me
before
too.
I knew I'd be working there.
That's crazy to come full circle on that. Back then, though, it was definitely that was like a unique time. Whenever we would go, like I remember growing up, we would go to all sorts of shit. But it was like a Penguin game was like rare that we would go to.
Yeah, same with me.
Yeah, and it was
go to a million Pirate games, but Penguins were rare for me too.
Yeah, but it's like that's what it comes with the territory. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you full circle, you're working there, and I mean, it's just
it's been pretty great.
It's a very interesting. It would just be interesting to like sit in there and you're like watching a game and like be kind of behind it all.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of like why I do the podcast. This shit is like I like learning about all this stuff like behind the scenes. Everyone watches a game.
Sure.
Everyone does all that, but like I love following Dana on Twitter and like seeing all them pictures that he posts of like the locker room and like. I just love seeing like the coffee station and like all this random shit just because it's like kind of
we take a lot of pride as a staff in what we do. The equipment staff.
How many people?
There's 4.
4 of you?
Yeah, we're kind of 4 full timers, and we just attention to detail is one of our big mottos. So we
probably got to.
We like to make things perfect if we can. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
We're there for the guys and. We don't want them to have to worry about their equipment. They just go out and play. You know what I mean?
Now, how long has he been there?
I think maybe 04, 05.
04, 05. He was there after you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
You been there longest out of that crew?
No.
No?
No.
Couple other people?
Couple other guys came before me. Yeah. But these jobs are kind of like you have them not forever, but for a long time.
Yeah, you ride them as long as you can, right?
Like, I can't believe I've been there, 15, 16 years now.
Yeah, someone asked me the hockey guy that I was telling you about, he was like, how long has he been there? And I was like, I think like a decent amount of time.
Yeah, I joined full-time in 06.
06.
Once I finished over at Pitt.
What'd you do at Pitt?
I studied media communications.
Media communications?
Yeah, like I didn't know what I wanted to do. I always knew I wanted to be in sports.
Yeah.
And maybe I thought I'd be like a writer or some sports writer.
Okay,
or,
yeah.
You know, but like now I see these guys like waiting around the locker room to ask a guy a question. I'm like, that would suck.
Yeah, I feel like it's just like a burden almost.
Yeah.
You know, like trying to ask everyone the same
And now,
shit.
unfortunately, these media guys, they're not going to be allowed in the locker room. It's all like Zoom meetings now. Like,
That's a good point.
yeah, I don't know if they'll ever be allowed back in.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting to
Sucks.
think about the whole COVID thing. So you
It's
were over in the
affecting
bubble?
everybody. I did not go to the bubble.
No?
I stayed back. I actually had stuff to do here. We've already been getting deliveries for next season.
Really?
Yeah, apparel, equipment, new jerseys, everything. Yeah, it's starting to come in already.
Now, what is like, as someone who is on a team and like, this whole like COVID stuff is like, this is all new for everyone.
Yeah.
It's like for you guys to experience this, like, what was it like in the beginning of all this? Like before things started to like shut down, it's like, as an organization, are you guys like more like kind of vigilant on like keeping everyone contained before shit kind of goes mainstream?
I mean, before, not really. It was just kind of like,
I guess
that
everyone
one
was
day,
all
everything was canceled.
Yeah, everyone was just kind of in the same boat,
Yeah.
wondering what was going on.
The team was in Columbus, and they canceled that game, and they came right home, and I met the equipment truck down at the arena, and we unloaded it. And
Yeah.
we didn't know when we'd see each other again.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I guess, yeah, that's the way the world was.
We'd
then.
get updates from the league, and for a while there wasn't much movement, and nobody knew.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
That's definitely crazy. And how long were you guys? When did you guys get to go back?
We started, it was called Phase 2.
Yeah.
The players were allowed to come back to Pittsburgh and skate up at Cranberry at the practice center
Yeah.
in groups of 6.
Oh,
And
really?
this was, I think, right around July, early July,
Yeah.
I want to say.
Yeah.
And maybe even before that. Maybe
so
end of
that whole
June.
downtime, you're not at
No.
the paint can at all.
No.
Yeah, I guess no one could be, right?
We had Zoom meetings with the organization every Monday.
Yeah.
They'd kind of just touch base. But like I said, there wasn't much to report.
Yeah. That's,
But yeah, we had guys coming in skating in groups of 6, and we'd get our temperature every morning upon arrival.
yeah.
Wearing gloves and masks at all times. Each player's own water bottle. We label them. We put them in the dishwasher after every use.
Yeah.
Their own towels. Yeah.
Yeah. Everything down to, you got to.
Then we gradually started our training camp before they left for Toronto in the bubble.
Yeah. Now, the containment that you guys had during the training camp, pretty buttoned up. Like everyone's buttoned up. Can't have anyone coming in
There
and
was
out.
limited access to the players. The only ones around the players were us.
Yeah.
Even the coaches weren't allowed there for the first few weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess only the necessity of it
Right.
all. So
Now, I
it's-
know Coach did a Zoom meeting with the guys maybe every Friday, I think.
Yeah.
Just to kind of keep them, involved.
Yeah, but you guys, if you guys are the ones that are
Yeah.
putting everything together for them to use.
We couldn't show up early. We had to leave at a certain time because the building had to come in and clean the locker rooms and all the areas. They had to spray everything down.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think
Yeah.
about that.
It
So
was
you had
like,
cleaning crews
you had to be in
all
and
the
out.
time.
Yep. No food at the rink anymore. Our chefs made the guys food to take home.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah,
That's
it's
crazy.
wild. Mhm.
It's a crazy time.
A lot of stuff people might not think about.
Now that
Yeah.
that was one thing that I was definitely super interested
Yeah.
in was the aspect of what different organizations are doing about shit. Like if you look at like the UFC,
Right.
like I watch the UFC a lot.
Yeah.
They've been going for a minute now. Like they were like the first ones back before everyone else.
Yeah.
Just because Dana White's a psychopath.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to see like the protocol of like how everyone handles this and like
Right.
what they're allowed, what they're not allowed,
Yeah.
the amount of people that are in there. And it's like usually the Pens are, you could go to the arena like any other time and like watch a practice and do all
Right.
that stuff. And it's pretty interesting to like think of that new dynamic.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's a positive for the players?
I don't know. I mean, I could imagine playing without fans wouldn't be great because, they feed off the crowd,
Yeah.
especially, obviously for home games.
Yeah, oh
it might
my
be
God.
easier on the road.
That's a good
But,
point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure some guys it's a little harder to get motivated.
Whenever I'm watching
You know?
games, it looks like I'm watching a scrimmage. It's like whenever we were watching these past few games and like I'm watching it, it's like I would have to like these are the playoffs. Like this is a big deal.
It kind of looks like a Winter Classic on TV.
Yeah,
with,
it does.
With the tarps over the seats.
It does.
But I think the league did a great job. I mean, the way the setup looked, it looks awesome.
Yeah, it did look cool.
The big screens behind the benches with the logos and they're putting in the fan noise. Like,
yeah, that's an
I think
interesting
it's as good
aspect.
as they could have done it.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta take it for what it is.
Yeah.
It's like I think it's cool that all these sports now are doing like different things. Like some of the baseball stadiums were like letting people donate money and like put a cardboard cutout.
Yeah,
and
I
it's
think
like,
that's great.
I think that's like such a cool idea. Like like that's obviously you can't be there at the game, but like that's something fun. Did the ticket holders get like refunded for the season?
That I don't know. I imagine if they had any money into it, they could carry over to next season.
That's probably true. Yeah.
If they will have fans next season, that's all still a question mark. Sadly,
yeah, I guess that's a big question mark. That's crazy.
We don't know when training camp's going to start. I think they're targeting the regular season to start December 1st.
Yeah.
But who knows? That might change. Hopefully that's what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, so nowadays for like, compared to like last year and shit like that, for a time like this, like let's say unfortunately we got knocked out, and like what's the process for you guys being like the ones that are kind of making everything like run in the clubhouse?
Sure.
It's like what's like the idea of you guys? Like you see that we're knocked out, then like what's the next plan of all this?
We typically we'll have like an exit day where the players come in and we send them on their way with their gear and a bunch of extra sticks. So wherever they live or spend their off season, they could skate on their own and have enough sticks and have all their gear. We send them with some laundry, practice jersey, some hockey socks, and then the equipment guys. We typically will come in maybe for a week and just kind of do like a spring cleaning. Yeah, just kind of close shop for a while. Yeah, and our job's more and more like a year-round gig,
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I'm sure that you guys are there, not just during the season.
No, there's a lot of off-season stuff. We have a rookie camp, and it's right at the end of June, early July. Yeah, where like our draft picks will come in, and some like rookies, maybe some Wilkes-Barre guys. And we do like a week-long camp up at Cranberry, and for a lot of them, it's their first time in Pittsburgh.
That's true. Yeah, I guess that's
so
a
we
good
work
point.
that, and it's kind of cool because in the evenings they'll take these guys. Like the one year they took them to Kennywood, the one year they did a Pirate game. If the Pirates
that's
were
awesome.
home.
Kind of like a bonding thing.
Right.
Yeah,
and to see the city, and they took them to Top Golf one year.
Man, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Keep it fun, It's not just a job. It's gotta have fun with it.
And then we have these trainers meetings every summer. Yeah, where we go and people from all the big companies speak. They're like seminars, you know what I mean? It's almost like going to class. Yeah. And then in the evenings, like there might be like a dinner or like a hospitality event where we just hang out and have drinks with our guys we only see at the rink. Yeah. From all around the league. Yeah. Even the colleges are there, and the AHL teams, the minor leagues. So it's pretty cool. You get to just hang out
cool
with
environment.
everybody. Yeah. And then there's a trade show, so all the big companies are there, and we typically put in our orders for the following season.
You're talking about all the equipment and everything.
Yeah.
Now, how does that get picked? Does that get picked on a level of the NHL, like, or is it just like teams?
Like, all the big companies are there. Your Bowers.
Bowers and everything like that.
CCM and Adidas.
Now, do players get to choose? Like, did you see the stuff with Marleau about how he was talking about retiring because they like discontinued the skates that he used?
I didn't hear about that, but
he only had like 2 pairs, I guess, left, and he was like threatening to like retire because they didn't make them anymore.
Just this past year, or?
I guess my buddy told me about it. Like he's a big hockey guy, and I thought that was like I was like, damn, I never thought about that.
These guys are so superstitious,
I know
they stick with something and they want it their whole career.
That was absolutely the most. That was the most asked question. Is like, what's like the craziest superstitions that you've seen?
There's some wild ones.
I know you got
Like
seen
Sid
them.
shoulder pads, he's worn them since before he's been a Penguin. They're like 20 years old.
That jockstrap too?
more. Yep, that too. I don't want to mention it, but yeah, that's
You got to mention it. Everyone knows about it. Have you ever
Yeah.
fixed it?
me personally. No. But it's
I know
been
that.
around.
I know you've known it. Yeah, everyone knows it. Even people that aren't
Yeah.
even involved in hockey,
know,
they
right?
know that he's superstitious.
Big time.
Yeah. What about like now you talk about like sending people home with sticks and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm super interested in the idea of the sticks. Okay, so
Okay.
you're in a game, people are playing, someone breaks a stick. What is whose responsibility is it to get that stick? Because you'll just see a stick poke out on the ice.
Yeah, we there's always an equipment guy standing by the spare sticks at the
Yeah.
end of the bench,
Yeah.
and we encourage guys to have 2 spare sticks on the bench.
2.
2.
Okay.
Some guys might have 1, and we'll be like, hey,
Get
put
another
one more
one.
out there.
Yeah.
Just to be safe.
Yeah. Are they all labeled?
Yeah, everyone's numbered. A lot of teams write the player number with a Sharpie
Yeah.
on the knob,
Okay.
but all the guys have their names on their sticks now.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty normal. But we put them in numerically from low
Like,
to high.
on the logo of the stick, it says their
Yeah,
name,
their
like the
name's
curve
stamped
and
on there
everything.
somewhere.
Ah,
Yep.
okay.
So, yeah, I mean, me doing the visitor side, I see every team how they like to do it, and every team does it. I mean, obviously, it just makes the most sense. They put them in numerical order from low to high.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we know that Crosby's 2 sticks are on the very end.
Yeah.
'Cause he's 87, and
Yeah.
no one's higher.
Yeah.
And Jack Johnson's are first because he's number 3.
Man, I never thought
I'm sorry,
about
Chad
that.
Weedle, number 2.
Number 2.
His would be
Yeah,
first.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
I never thought about that, but I thought that was such like an interesting thought.
So, yeah,
like
'cause you
someone
gotta-
breaks
you
a
gotta be
stick
watching.
and they just pop out real quick.
Uh-huh.
So that person's like locked in.
You got
they're
to watch
locked
the
in.
play. You got to know which 5 guys are on the ice,
Yeah.
especially during a power play.
Yeah.
Because they're set up and they're blasting slap shots.
Yeah,
which
shit's
are more
breaking.
yeah, you got to be ready.
Yeah.
And face-offs too. Like if one of our guys is setting up for a face-off, we might have our hand on one of his sticks just ready to go.
Wow.
So if he breaks his stick, he's skating right over
Who
us.
breaks the most sticks?
That's a good question. I really can't think anyone that's a lot more than anybody
Yeah,
else.
it doesn't seem like that there's anyone from me watching a game. Like I don't see anyone breaking a stick every single day.
No, maybe a defenseman that's trying to block shots.
Yeah, that would make sense.
But nothing really stands out to me. I remember a few years ago, Boston was in town, and it was an afternoon game, and I swear they must have broke 8 sticks in one period. It was wild.
Really?
Their equipment guys like, what the hell is going on?
And you're over in this you're over in this in the enemy territory.
Yeah.
Seeing how their
Yeah.
organization kind of like seeing how everything's kind of done.
Yeah,
a
so
little bit.
I'm overseeing the visitors' dressing room. So I'm setting up all their stuff. I have a game night helper, my buddy Joe, who's awesome.
Yeah.
We do it, and we wear NHL shirts. We don't wear Penguin shirts.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow, I didn't
Yeah.
think about that.
yeah. We have NHL Shield
guys-
logo shirts.
Suck. You guys suck.
So,
Just yelling at them.
yeah, it's interesting.
Who do you think's the most like I'm sure that it's all like business there, but
Sure.
like, is there I'm sure you like, you're rubbing elbows with some people. Like do you
Oh,
have like
yeah.
a favorite, other team?
There's a couple teams that are more business than others that we like because they just show up and play. They're not very high maintenance.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned Boston. Boston's pretty good.
Yeah.
Tampa's pretty good.
They're like they're
They're just, hey, we're here, we're
Yeah.
playing. We don't need anything special.
that's pretty cool.
A lot of the West teams are like that too. They're just the LA's real good.
Huh.
I don't know why. It's just
Yeah.
they just seem more chill.
That's
we
pretty
only see
interesting.
them once a year because the West only comes here once a year, and the Penguins play the West teams once a year.
Yeah.
We play the East a bunch of times.
Do you travel with teams?
Not anymore. I did for about 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
It was great. Yeah.
You went to every game?
Yeah.
Wow.
For a while.
Now
I've been to every city except for Vegas. With I've been to Vegas before, but not with the Penguins.
not with the
So
Penguins.
I haven't seen the T-Mobile Arena.
Do you have a favorite that you've gone to?
City?
Yeah.
There's so many good ones.
Yeah. What about an arena besides for the Paint King?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Montreal Bell Center,
Oh, that would be incredible.
pretty awesome.
I bet it would be insane.
Especially
up
on a
there.
Saturday night in Montreal.
Yeah, it's probably
and that's a bigger one.
insane.
They hold like 20,000.
Yeah.
So they're a little more than like, PPG.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Different
a special
atmosphere
place.
up there.
Like live and die hockey.
Yeah,
obviously.
breathe it. They breathe hockey up there.
It's fun being there, especially with the Penguins and Sid's there, and everyone wants to see him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like Montreal stands out.
Different energy.
It's probably
up
my
there.
favorite road rink.
That's
awesome.
cool. That's cool. That's a cool thought to just
Yeah.
like think about, like, you know, the power that like is there. Because even though, like, you know, Sidney Crosby, obviously we love him because he's on our team, the captain. But it's like, you know, that's like you know, he's like a Michael Jordan. It's like everyone who likes hockey.
We're lucky
to
to
an
have
extent. Yeah. I mean,
No doubt.
to an extent, everyone on them teams, you know, you got Ovi, you got everyone.
Yeah.
If they're not on your team, obviously everyone's like, you know, screw that guy,
Right.
screw him.
Uh-huh.
But if we had Ovechkin on our team, everyone would love him.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's
Even,
like you can't hate it.
Tom Wilson, he's their villain, right?
Yeah, he's a villain.
He's not very liked around here.
But
I'll
if he
tell you,
was
he's
on
a
our
good
team,
dude.
if he was on our team, they would love him.
Exactly. They were here earlier this season before the shutdown. Funny story. They came here. They beat us. End of the game, me and Joe are right near the runway because, like, our first job as soon as the game is over, we clear the bench and we pull all those spare sticks off the bench and we pack them, and then we start hauling bags out to the truck.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're standing there and the caps are coming off the ice and all these fans are there booing, and Tom Wilson comes off. He looks up to the fans. He goes, "Oh, you're from Pittsburgh? That must suck." But I'll tell you what, it was hilarious.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's a.
I went up to him after the game. I pulled his bag to throw it on the cart for the truck, and I kind of was joking with him. I was like, "Hey, man, I'm from Pittsburgh too. It's not so bad." And he was like, "Oh, it's all good, man." He's like, "I actually have some friends here." He's like, "From here." He's like, "That's just the first thing I thought of." I was like, "Don't worry, man. It's cool." Like, it was
them guys
funny.
get a bad rap. You know what I mean? Come on, he get a bad rap.
Yeah.
You got a Matt Cook. You know,
Exactly.
That's the same thing. I loved him. I loved Matt
Yep,
Cook.
he was popular.
Yeah, and he was kind of a
He was a little
bit
dirty.
chippy. He was a little
Yeah, he was
chippy.
Chippy's a good word. He did well for us.
He did. He
was
did
the
well
best.
for us. Now, you brought up the idea of like what happens right after a game. So that's interesting. Like so you go and you clean off the bench, and like they're in the locker room. Now
We give them a couple minutes to undress.
That's
and
what I
get all their
figured.
stuff in the bag, and then I'm in there right away.
yeah, are you in there the same time they're in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Usually, they don't allow media in the room until about, I think, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So I kind of like, sometimes the coach will come in and talk to the team, and I'll just kind of stay out of there.
Yeah.
And once I hear clutter, and I know it's cool to go in and just start hauling bags because they want to get out of there as soon as possible. They got to get on a plane and go home or go to another city. You know,
Yeah,
they,
get on a
they
damn
want to get
bus.
out as soon as possible.
Absolutely.
That's like priority number one. Just keep
Now,
going.
do you for the opposing team's locker room? Like, are you gearing that up with like you said, drinks and shit like that?
Yeah.
And do they make like are you able to make special requests? You know, like let's say a guy wants like a blue Gatorade, a blue sugar-free Gatorade.
Yeah,
can they get particular like that?
There's a couple odd requests like that, and we try to take care of whatever we can.
Yeah. Obviously, you can't do
yeah.
everything, but
We order Gatorade through the league. You know, they're a big sponsor and partnership.
Yeah.
So every team has a Gatorade, and it's on the bench, and the bottles are Gatorade, the towels are Gatorade. You know, you watch a game, and you'll see the Gatorade logo everywhere.
yeah.
So, I try to stock the fridge with as many flavors as possible. And
Yeah.
the team, they don't really care about that.
That's cool,
They
though.
grab what's there.
That's cool though. I
Yeah.
mean, like some people, you hear about like riders. You know what a rider is for like a concert. Like a performer will have a rider, which is like basically a list that they want in their green room.
Oh, they're special, like brown M&Ms only.
Yeah, like brown M&Ms only. Like, come on, kiss my ass.
Yeah, I know. Yep. I
But
gotcha.
I just didn't know if some of the players were bougie like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's interesting.
No,
That's cool though that they're not. Like,
hockey players are really
I
laid
know.
back and chill.
I know. None of them
they're
seem
gritty.
like-
they just show up and hey, let's go play.
yeah, none of them really
There's
seem
not a
like
lot of
anything
that.
crazy.
No, they're pretty good to work with.
Now, now, do you have you ever experienced a team being salty and like messing up a locker room?
No,
No one does anything like that.
no. A couple individual players have done a little bit of damage, but
Yeah,
nothing
nothing
crazy.
Like, that's good though.
yeah.
That's
one
good,
time
though.
a goalie smashed one of our floor fans, and we had to tell their staff like, "Hey, you got to buy us a new fan." Like, $80 fan, no big deal. They
Yeah.
took care of it. They
That
apologized.
dude flips a coin at you. It's
Yeah,
like, go ahead,
couple
buy
times,
yourself a couple.
We've seen a couple ceiling tiles come down, and nothing big.
Yeah, nothing too crazy.
No one broke a TV. Or
in high school
like
one time, whenever I was in middle school,
Yeah.
our high school team faced Thomas Jefferson.
Ooh, TJ, yeah, they're tough.
TJ is like, scouting players. You know,
I went to Keystone Oaks and they kicked our
you
ass.
know
and
all
everything.
about it. Yeah.
Yep,
So these
TJ,
dudes
man.
are playing like
They're unbelievable.
unreal
Yep.
team, and we ended up getting shit on by them. I think it was like 71 to like 6. We were the only
goodness.
team that season to score on them through some crazy Hail Mary. But our varsity team like destroyed their locker room.
Yeah.
Shoved cupcakes and shit up their hand dryers and like all
That's
this
clever.
dumb stuff. And I remember
Yeah.
they got in a crazy amount of trouble for that. Like
I'm sure.
run until you puke a lot.
Yeah.
Our
you can't
coach
be
was a little bit
doing that.
wild. He was he
Yeah.
used to play for the Steelers.
kidding.
He was Pete Rostowski. You remember that name? He was a D end. He was never anyone that was like super crazy, but this
Okay.
dude was nuts.
Sure.
Shot in the head, survived. Yeah,
Wow.
there was people hunting on his property. He lived in like a farm, and he said there was people hunting on his property, and I guess he confronted them, and they shot him or something. And
Oh my God.
he was fine. He's alive, and he was the wildest dude ever. But
Dang.
besides the point.
Yeah.
So you're cleaning up this locker room, and like this is the opposing team's locker room. So it's like after everyone gets out of there, do you immediately like have to put any like? Are you resupplying shit that night?
Usually we'll lock up. It all depends what's in the building next.
Yeah.
If it's another Penguin game, we leave everything out. But if
that's
there's
a
a
good point.
concert, they usually use that room for something.
Oh yeah.
Like Elton John's used that room for his concert.
Jesus.
Carrie Underwood's been in there.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So luckily I have 2 storage rooms over there where I could lock up all my hockey stuff.
yeah.
And then they have the general dressing room, right?
Man, with the
Yeah.
logo on the floor and everything, the one you see all the pictures
No,
like in
no,
the
not
half
the
circle.
Penguin room.
Yeah.
The
the
visitors
visitors room.
The Penguins room is
Always the
Penguins
Penguins
only.
room.
Yeah, no one's ever in there.
Sacred.
Yeah, that's just Penguins. There's never a concert in there or a show or anything like that.
I never thought about that though.
But yeah.
You always have
So that-
concerts and other things in the other one, I guess.
The building tries to hold it for us, but when
Yeah.
a big show comes in, they got to use it. And like we understand, that's just how it is. Like wrestling uses it because when WWE comes, like
Oh, it's
they
crazy.
take over everything.
It's crazy.
Yeah. The one night I was in there and Raw was in town and I had to stay because a team was coming in late that night, right after wrestling cleared out.
Yeah.
And they told me, 1 a.m. maybe, 2 a.m. I'm like, oh, man. So
So-
I'm down there. Yeah. And luckily they seemed to get out quick, right?
Yeah.
So I peeked my head in the visitor's room to see if it was cool for me to start setting up. And Mankind was in there. That Mankind, right?
Oh,
The
yeah.
flannel.
Mick Foley?
Mick
Yep.
Foley, yeah.
Yeah, same
He's in there
difference.
by himself on a cell phone. And I'm not a big wrestling guy.
Yeah.
But I knew who he was.
Yeah, everyone knows who he is.
And I went in and I was like, excuse me, you mind if I start setting up? I said, I got a hockey team coming in here. He's like, yeah, no problem. I'll be out in a minute. And I'm a big picture guy. So
Yeah.
I was like, you mind if I get a picture? He's like, no problem. And we took a picture. It was pretty cool. He was
That's
super nice.
Unreal. Yeah,
Yeah.
supposedly he's a great guy.
He seemed like it.
Yes, he's that's a wild dude. That's like one of like the
Yeah.
Mount Rushmores of like
Right.
wrestling.
I know he's a big, and I think he almost died at the Civic
He
Arena.
did.
when he
I
got
was just
thrown
going to say, the
off that
Undertaker
fence.
tossed his ass over the edge, and you're like, Jesus, you almost died here. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Because I think he literally almost died that
I know,
time.
like you should have seen him limping around. Like he was in bad shape.
Yeah, and I
Felt
think
bad for the
that
guy, but-
I think that he's kind of on the up and up now because
he?
of DDP doing like yoga and shit like that. You ever hear of DDP yoga? You know DDP, Diamond Dallas Page?
Yeah, I remember that name. Yeah,
That dude turned his whole life around, and he does this like this yoga that is like, it's not like a like a Zen, like it's
Sure.
not your typical yoga. It's like more of like a hardened version.
Yeah.
And you got all these like old wrestlers that like he's friends with that like could never walk or anything like
Right.
that. And now he's like getting them to do this, and like it's changing their lives.
That's
Like, It's
awesome.
making them better and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mick Foley though, that's a cool wrestler to
It was
be able
neat
to
to
just
see him.
come across. You know,
yeah,
I
he
mean,
was just
it'd be
chilling,
interesting.
and he's like, "I'll be out in a minute. I just got to make a phone call." I'm like, "Yeah, take your time.
Yeah,
Stay out of your way."
How often now? I'm curious about like the equipment end of things.
Uh-huh.
Like players obviously are superstitious about things. They want to use some of the same shit, but like,
Yeah.
are they just allowed to be like, "Hey, I want a new pair of gloves"?
Yeah, we we're not giving them new gloves every day.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we always have They go through a lot of gloves because
Yeah.
gloves get the wear and tear.
Worn, smell,
Yeah,
all
smelly,
that.
soaking wet. They get holes in them. Some
Yeah.
guys like them like that, though.
I know. I mean, you got
Yeah.
to. Sidney
Like,
Crosby's jockstrap, it's got to be holes everywhere.
Yeah. But some guys with the gloves, like, they have holes in the palm, and that's how they want to play with them.
Now, what happens to all the stuff that is, kind of like recycled out? Like, let's say, people want new C8s and new gloves, new stick. Do they do anything with them?
I think we have an equipment sale every summer.
Ah,
At least
okay.
we used to.
Yeah.
Up at Cranberry, I think they put out the big tents outside, the big white tents, and I'm pretty sure they do a sale.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we kind of inventory what we give them, and
Yeah.
it goes on from there, and we never see it again.
Now, people, what's the reasoning for, like, people like Malkin wearing two different gloves last year?
Yeah, I can't remember why he did that.
It's
I do remember that moment, but I don't know why. Something.
It's like it's very bizarre, but it's like it's just so like weird to like think about like how how they think about how they process this and do everything like that. It's interesting.
Gino's crazy with his sticks. Like he's used. I can't even tell you how many dozen different kinds of sticks over the years. And
that's literally what it's written down on here.
Yeah.
So one of my hockey guys was like, ask him about why Malkin used two different gloves and ask him about how many different sticks he tried, because supposedly on I think they talked about it on like Spittin' Chicklets or something, and they said that like he tried a shitload of different sticks.
Yeah, he's just one of those guys where he had a lousy game, so he's going to blame his stick.
Yeah,
it was the stick's fault. So he wants a new stick. A lot of guys are like that. But he even asked me sometimes. He goes, "Hey, he's like, hey, can you get me so and so stick from the other side?"
Yeah.
And I'll ask the guy, and they're usually cool with it. And he just wants to see the curve and the flex, and he might even try it out in practice.
Wow,
yeah,
that's pretty cool.
He's big on the sticks.
Is there some people that like you obviously you see in like basketball, I mean not basketball, but like football, some players trade jerseys and shit like that.
Yeah.
Is that ever like a thing in hockey?
No, thankfully not, because in football, they only go on like a 1-game road trip, right?
Yeah.
Say the Patriots come to Pittsburgh to play us on a Sunday. They're flying back.
That's a good point.
So like they have a week to get a new jersey for that guy. With us, we might be playing the next night.
Oh,
so that doesn't
true.
happen in hockey.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
On the road, how many jerseys do you guys take? Like, is there multiple of each players?
No, there's one per guy, and then we have a trunk with any potential call-up guys. Because, we can call up a guy anytime if there's an injury or someone's doing well.
Patch
in
on there and
Wilkes-Barre.
everything.
We got their jersey ready to go in a trunk. We
Wow.
usually, And around the All-Star break, we do a set 1 jerseys.
Yeah.
And then around the All-Star break, we retire those and do a set 2. And then we do a third set for the playoffs.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. When I first started, we used to have, I think we used to do a backup jersey for some of our tough guys, like George LaRock, in case he tore one in a fight. But
George LaRock.
Yeah.
What a player.
He was awesome.
Now, it makes me curious. I remember one point, Fleury had like a big, it looked like I guess it was from taking a slap shot off the chest. It was just like a big like black mark
Black
on
streak on the penguin belly.
Yes,
Yeah.
black streak on the penguin belly.
Yeah.
Now, is there ever like certain like I guess like rules almost like where you have to like change it? Like if there's like, let's say there's like blood or some shit on, I guess you wash it out.
The
but
blood's got to come out.
Yeah.
We were in Montreal once. It was one of my first years.
Yeah.
And the bench there is across the ice from the dressing room.
Yeah.
It's like one of the...
Still there across
for
the
the
ice.
visitors, yeah. The Canadians' room's right behind their bench.
Ugh.
But for the visitors, you got to go across the ice.
Yeah.
So I was in the dressing room across the ice, and I think Letang got a high stick to the nose or something, and he was just dripping blood.
Yeah.
His whole front jersey just soaked in blood. And I'm trying to think what happened. I think we went to overtime, and there was a little break so they could cut the ice real quick. And
Yeah.
he skated over, and I had to get that blood out like right away.
You have to?
Yeah, because
I guess for penalties, like you can't like.
this
Is that
was
why?
like a lot of blood. They'll let a little blood go.
Yeah.
But this was like they weren't going to let him back into the game.
Now, is that more of like for a health reason or more of like
Probably Probably.
I never knew if it
don't
was
know.
like healthy or if it was like someone saying like, "Oh,
Like
he
a
hit me."
cosmetic thing.
Yeah, well, no, like he hit me. Like that's a 5-minute penalty. Like, look, I'm bleeding right
Yeah.
here. You know what I mean?
Right. But I was scrambling to get as much of that blood out as I could. I had like a cold towel. I'm like,
Yeah,
because we didn't have time to get it washed.
yeah. It's probably intense.
Sometimes you get time to throw it in the wash, and during the intermission, you throw it in the dryer on low real quick, and
Yeah.
hopefully it usually works. We have some blood stain stuff remover, but I remember that time, and I was scrambling. I was scared. I'm like,
You
oh.
think that was that the most ever
Yeah.
on like one jersey that you had to deal with?
No, one time, Peter Sikora,
Peter Gunn.
remember him?
Yeah.
I think it was a preseason game, and he got bloodied up, and his jersey was like drenched. I think
Did he
I think
get hit in the mouth with a puck?
maybe. I don't know, but I think we just got him a new jersey, and we kept that one because
Yeah.
it was wild.
Yeah, I
it looked
bet.
like they poured just a bucket of blood right down the front.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Now, I'm curious. I'm sure you probably know a little bit more. You always see them videos that are like on Instagram that NHL posts of like these dudes sniffing, smelling salts.
Oh yeah.
Is that a thing in the locker room?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
have
on
you-
the bench.
On the bench. That's what I mean.
Like right before they go out.
You ever do it?
Yeah. Well, sometimes the players will be messing with you if they don't see you paying attention.
sure.
They'll put one by your nostril. You're, oh, get that out of my face.
I did one the other
Yeah.
day. It's like because you see it in the movie, like in Little Giants. Kid
Oh,
got
yeah,
knocked
that's
out.
right,
He
yeah.
pops it and he puts it under there, and I was like, I wonder how that worked. And now I start seeing like everyone on, you know,
Uh-huh.
it's always on like Spittin' Chicklets or Barstool and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and these
if,
guys just ripping these smelling salts.
If I'm on the bench, I got to make sure to have a few of those in my pocket because like guys are going to ask.
Really?
Yeah. Everyone.
Wow.
Yeah. A lot of guys use them.
It's pretty
So
interesting.
we all try to make sure we have a couple in our pocket.
Wow.
Because they'll be looking. They'll just turn around and, flap their fingers at us like, give me one. Yeah.
Man, that's the best.
Yeah. It's
Now is that like I mean like I always wondered I was almost like, is that like something that they like hide? But after seeing all these videos and stuff, they're kind of blatant about it.
yeah. I don't think they hide it.
Me either.
I think it's more of a joke thing. Like
Yeah.
it's funny to see them do it.
Yeah, because like you have them videos of them just like shaking it on their
Yeah.
nose and like making these weird faces.
I just think that's their honest expression.
Yeah.
They're not trying to be funny. Maybe
Yeah.
they are, but like, yeah, that stuff's wild.
Man, the smelling salts. You see so many
know.
of them out now, and then I see
Yeah.
people that I know like around here that just buy it. I saw.
Really?
Oh yeah, before COVID hit, there was people at parties and they would be on like their Instagram stories, and you would just see a guy rip a shot and sniff this salt, and
Oh,
you're
my
just like,
God.
Jesus. But I admitted I had to buy some just to see what it was all
Yeah.
about.
I could have brought you some. I wish I would have known.
Oh, I got a whole jar right back there. I mean, that jar will last me the rest of my life.
Yeah,
So
right,
like
right.
every day I'm sitting there smelling these things, but they're
pretty
it's,
potent.
It's interesting. It's
Yeah.
interesting because I never remember seeing them until like, it was a movie, someone knocked out a boxer or something.
Sure.
And then you're like, oh, all these are just like
Yeah,
kind of
it-
came around all of a sudden.
It's a thing. Yeah.
Now, what about like rituals? Like obviously there's like the ritual. I saw I can't remember what goalie I just saw. It might have been I can't remember, but they posted a side-by-side video of him.
Oh, it was Lundqvist.
Lundqvist. That's
with
who
the
it
Rangers.
was.
Yep.
Yep, that was who it was.
It was like identical.
Identical.
Wasn't that wild?
And
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit! Like these
I
dudes
know.
are like serious. And even Fleury would always go out if someone would score on him,
Yeah.
skate to his right side and then come back around, touch the
Yeah,
pole.
especially goalies. They have their own things.
Their own
you
weird
know?
things, and it now what's like what are some rituals like? Do you see some of these things that people are doing?
Some things
that,
I
like,
might
stand
not
out?
Some things I might not even notice are rituals.
Yeah, I bet.
'Cause I'm there all day, every day. I'm just like, oh,
That's a good
what
point.
they do, but
That's a good point.
when they walk out to the ice, Gino's always last, and
Yeah.
Sid's right in front of him. Like
Yeah.
that'll never change.
Now that happened because Malkin was last in his Russian team, right?
I believe so. Yeah,
And Sid was just,
he
he's
kinda-
a nice guy. He's like, all right,
he trumped Sid and was
Yeah.
like, I'm going last.
yeah, because he was there longer, right?
yeah,
Yeah, man, that's cool though. That's like
I know.
oh,
Isn't
that's so cool.
yeah.
It's interesting. I'm curious. Do you know why the soccer ball warm up started? Like where that came
I
from?
don't, but when I started, that wasn't a thing, and teams just start doing it, and every team does it.
Do they?
Oh yeah,
people that are listening that don't know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
you'll see like in the warm-ups before the games, like they'll show like a camera in the locker room of them standing in a circle and like kicking a soccer ball back and forth.
Kind of like they're playing hacky sack.
Yeah,
like
hacky
a soccer
sack.
ball.
That's exactly it. And I didn't know that other people did that, I guess. But
All the teams do it.
really?
We have a designated area down at PPG Paints for the visitors on the lower bowl there outside their room where they play.
Wow.
And there's a bunch of wires and up in the ceiling, and like soccer balls go up there constantly.
Oh, I bet.
So I'm on a ladder like every 3 or 4 games, crawling up there and getting a ball down for them.
Now, how long does that go on for?
Maybe 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah. Just to get
whatever
warmed up a little bit?
It's all part of their rituals, like you were talking about.
Yeah.
So all teams are different. I've seen the Tampa. They have a game with like they put up one of those security fences that they do some sort of like volleyball with it.
Yeah. That's pretty sick.
They put tape down on the floor. They make like a court.
I think I saw another team, one of their things, they play that like, it was like slam ball or something. It's like a
spike
mini
ball.
spike ball. That's
Yeah.
it. That game looks pretty damn
I've never
fun.
played it, but
Me either. I bet it would be
that's
hard.
starting to be a thing too.
Yeah, I've been
spike
seeing it
ball.
everywhere. People have been getting it to go and play on
I
the
think the
beach
Penguins
and stuff
they
like
sent one
that.
up to Toronto.
Oh, that's
for the
awesome.
guys. Yeah.
That's definitely
Yeah.
cool. Now, whenever you're there, you're obviously there before games, a little bit earlier, and a
lot earlier.
A lot earlier. So, like, game starts.
Well, we have the
at-
morning skates.
Let's say, oh yeah, so you're there the whole day.
I get there like 6:30 in the morning.
And what time are you out of there after the game?
11:30.
Yeah,
We try not to do too much post game
Yeah.
because you have the next day to kind of.
be in there and get all
Yeah.
your shit
We
done
try
because
to
there's
get
a
it-
lot of downtime, right?
Yeah, we try to get out quick. It all depends on every week's different.
Now,
They might be leaving after the game. We might be off the next day. We might be practicing.
if
Every
you're
day is
there,
different.
6:30 in the morning,
Yeah.
who's usually who's some of the first players to get in there?
Honestly, I don't even notice.
Yeah, I guess you're just like in there almost 20 years now. It's just
Yeah.
like every day.
I don't even realize who walks in first.
Well, it's like I heard a story somewhere. I can't remember what it was, but it was like I don't know if it was like after we lost in the playoffs or something.
Uh-huh.
People said Sid just went into the locker room right after, like came off the plane or something, and just went right into the locker room and started working out. I remember this was like years ago that I've heard this, but I didn't know if there was like players that like came in early and just kind of like liked being there.
I know now. Brandon Tanev gets in pretty early
Yeah,
before the game.
yeah.
Now that I think of it, he's one of the first for the game.
Now, is it just to like be there, or is he like doing?
Yeah, they all have their
things?
routine. He might,
Yeah,
pour a cup of coffee and just,
Kinda
BS
chill out
in
for a
the
little
medical
bit.
room for a bit and get worked on. They all have their thing.
Now, do you guys have like a chill room where there's like you can have like Xboxes and shit in there or anything?
There is a video game system in the lounge, but guys haven't played it in years.
Yeah. I guess
I have
that
a
makes
desk in the
sense.
laundry room.
Yeah.
I'm kind of tucked away. It's pretty nice. Like, I can go back there and hide.
Yeah, that's good
No,
though.
but we don't really have a chill area. We have the equipment room,
Yeah.
and we got chairs in there. and
Yeah, everyone's kind of shooting
We're
shit
never
in
really
there.
just sitting around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's always something to do. But
Always
we do.
something
There's
going on.
obviously downtime. We're not working, 16 hours nonstop.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
No one can do that.
relaxing a little
Yeah.
bit. So I'm looking through just a couple of these
Sure.
things. Now, I something that I was interested about was, you've probably. So during the intermissions, you're still over at the opposing team's locker room outside there.
My helper Joe, he takes care of the bench, kind of makes sure all the drinks are refilled, all the towels are dry and folded, and I actually check on the referees.
Really?
I handle them too. Yeah,
What is that like? Do they have their own spot to go to?
they have a little room down in the Zamboni corner.
little boiler room.
Yeah, dripping pipes and
Yeah,
stuff. No,
Freddy
it's
Krueger in
actually
there.
nice. They got lockers and we put their toiletries in there, their shower stuff, towels, and I put a cooler in there with drinks, and they got a bike in there to kind of
Warm up, stay warm.
warm up, and the kitchen people bring them some fruit before the game, and then I put in power bars and things like that, and then they get a quick meal after the game,
That's pretty cool.
and I check on them every intermission. I'm like, hey, you guys good?
Yeah.
And they're usually good.
Yeah.
There might be, hey, can you run my skate through real quick? I got a little nick.
Yeah.
Or we do their laundry too sometimes. But yeah, they're pretty low maintenance.
How now are you like? How often are you like? Are you sharpening their skates and everything like every day? Is that something that's going on every day?
I do a few, but that's mostly a couple of the other guys on the staff. That's like their forte.
But I mean, like in general, they do that every day.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Every day, they're just doing that.
That's a big part of the job, the skate
bet.
sharpening.
That's probably the most important. I mean, that's your wheels.
We have like 3 sets of steel per guy, ready to swap them out.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
Guys are very particular and how they feel.
A skate really isn't something that you could just like, replace with a brand new set because it's going to destroy your feet unless it's broken in.
Yeah, you got to bake them.
Yeah, do they have like
break them in?
Do they have like extra skates, like an extra set? Like
we have a backup set for every guy.
Yeah.
And we travel with them too.
Okay.
So if there's a major blow up on the ice, and it's something we can't fix
throw
right
a blade
away,
on or something.
We'll grab their backup set. That doesn't happen often, but you got to have them just in case.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That definitely makes sense. Has there ever been like any like drastic things where like, equipment got, broken or lost or like forgotten or anything like that?
Thankfully for us, nothing like that.
That's good.
But a few years ago, this is probably the craziest one. Minnesota Wild were in Ottawa playing the Senators, and they were practicing at the Senators practice rink just down the road from the game rink. It was less than a mile.
Yeah.
And they had all their gear in the truck, the equipment truck, and it caught on fire.
What?
Yeah. I think a torch.
Holy shit.
Guys use torches on their sticks to heat up the blades.
Yeah.
So like stick tools. And I think one of the torches somehow ignited and like half their gear got burned.
My goodness.
Yeah,
what happens during then? They just gotta like scramble around to get shit.
I think all the major companies just send them stuff like real quick.
That is insane.
If that happened to us, I couldn't imagine
what would happen.
It'd be wild. Yeah, for anybody.
Now, is there players that like prefer to do their own shit, like doing the curves on their sticks and everything like that? Taping their own sticks and everything.
The guys love to do their own sticks.
Yeah. Seems like a superstitious type thing almost.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all they do during intermissions. They're pulling their tape off and putting on a fresh roll, But these sticks nowadays, they all come custom made to how the guy wants them.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of blade bending like there used to be.
Yeah.
We have saws in our stick rooms and things like that.
Cut the butts off and everything.
Yeah. And there's still some of that, but not as much as there used to be.
Yeah, because it's kind of more
they're custom made exactly how they want them.
Yeah, because I remember like obviously I would play hockey at like Slippery Rock, and I remember my buddy would got a stick, and they're lengthened so you could cut it to your own length.
Exactly.
But like if you're a professional hockey player, that's
you're gonna get it how
to
you want it.
Yeah, you're getting it how you want it.
It's cool watching them tape our sticks though, because every knob is different. Like they're
it's
all
so
down
sick.
to a science.
Like sometimes you get to see it. Just on
they'll show it on TV
on their TV, and it's so wild. Like, but you got to think like how many sticks have these dudes taped in their entire lives? Like thousands.
Yep.
So it's just like the way that they do that is so cool. Like watching,
it is neat.
I remember watching a video Crosby like making the curb, like whatever curve he has.
It's pretty flat.
Yeah, pretty flat, but like making that little bend a little bit, and it's so interesting to like
science
to like think of that. And I feel like that some people that are just like nonchalant, like fans kind of they don't really understand like how big of a deal and like how meaningful like how particular that is.
Right.
It's pretty interesting
it's
to me.
Pretty cool to see.
Whenever I learned about like his curve and like how there's barely or their lack thereof. Yeah, the lack thereof.
There's hardly any curve. That's why his backhand's so good.
Yeah, it kind of like blew my mind because I was like, wait, you're telling me like because when you're younger and you're playing street hockey, you got that thing looking like a damn boomerang.
The Milek.
Yeah, so the Milek exactly. So you can whip that thing.
Yeah.
But playing with a flat stick, you're like, geez, that's insane.
It's incredible.
Definitely wild.
When Sid started, he had a 2-piece stick.
I remember someone telling me that.
It was glued into the shaft, and we went through a lot of blades. But now, he's at a 1-piece now for a long time, like everybody else.
Yeah. Do you got people that if I guess like since their sticks and all that are like catered to them, you don't really have to like do too much. But if let's say for Malkin, for instance, like you said, he likes to try a bunch of different sticks.
Yeah.
Do you just like contact these people and say like, we need like, one of all these?
We have a rep from each company that we work closely with, and they come visit us a few times a year, and they bring whatever they think they want to show to guys, and guys will spend a few minutes with them, and
that's pretty cool.
Practice day.
Do you see any update in like technology coming in like the near future that might be like a game changer? I don't know how there really could be.
A few years ago they did the trigger and the steel and the skate, so we can take the steel out of a guy's skate without him taking the skate off.
Really?
Oh yeah, that's a big thing now. That was a major breakthrough.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so every team
there's
now,
just like a little release there now.
Yeah. We use a tool. We just stick it in the back of their holder. Yeah. And if you do it right, the steel comes out right away.
How was it? How did it used to be in there?
You'd have to they'd have to take their skate off.
Yeah.
And we'd have to run back into the room and sharpen it. So they'd miss a shift or two.
Yeah.
But now, that's why we have 2 or 3 sets of steel ready to go.
So you don't have to worry
They're right
about
there on the bench.
running and sharpening.
We have them numerically ordered.
Wow.
In order. So a guy yells down, "Hey, my skate's messed up." We run down there. One of us will pry it out. We'll pop the new one in, and they don't miss a second.
Damn, that is pretty cool. I guess that would be a huge game changer.
Oh yeah, it's a little tricky to do. I sliced my finger a couple years ago on a Gensel skate. Yeah, because like I was a little nervous doing it because like it was new to me, and his
trying
skate
to
was
figure
wet.
out how it was,
and I jammed this. It's called an awl.
Yeah,
it's kind of like it's like a screwdriver, but like with a pointy end.
Yeah.
And I just slipped and cut my finger, and I had to get like 3 or 4 stitches. It was a lot of blood.
Jeez, I bet. Stitches with it too. Jesus.
I never had stitches before I start working with the Penguins.
Really?
I got hit in the head once at a game.
No way. Mm-hmm. Was it
a couple years ago? Montreal.
Draw blood?
Yeah. So I was in my little area behind the visiting goalie.
Yeah.
At the end of the visitors' bench. It was against Montreal, and I think the Penguins were on a power play, and someone from Montreal just tried to clear the puck, and they whipped it down the ice, and to my immediate left is a panel of glass separating the bench from the fans, and everyone yells, "Heads up!" So we all ducked, and the puck hit the glass and then ricocheted off the back of my head, and I felt fine. But I put my hand on the back of my head and it was red, so I was bleeding.
Oh my
and they're
goodness!
Like, "Oh, you got cut pretty good," and I got a few stitches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least you got the medical right there, right?
I got the puck too. I kept the puck.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's pretty cool though.
Yeah.
I mean, like you get like small perks of the job.
Yeah, I think the usher in the runway, he picked it up and he's like, "Here you go." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm keeping that one."
Yeah, that's awesome for sure.
Yeah.
Now. Like memorabilia stuff like that. It's like over the years, or have you acquired some good memorabilia?
Yeah, I'll admit I like to collect.
I'm sure you do.
Not crazy, but here and there I'll get a few things.
Like what are some of your prized possessions?
Well, by far my Stanley Cup rings.
Yeah.
I've been blessed to be a part of three championships.
That's insane.
So those are probably number one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just awesome to have those.
You ever wear them around?
No.
Yeah.
They're way too big.
I know. I got to put one on one time.
Yeah.
I don't remember who it was. It was like someone that was on the staff.
Okay.
I worked at a car dealership.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that it was Crosby's manager at the time that came there.
Yeah.
But I got to put one on and I was like, you never wear this thing.
I know.
That's Michael Jordan
awesome.
could never walk around with all them rings on. It's like a paperweight.
Cool. Yeah, exactly.
It's that's awesome, obviously.
Then I like to paint and draw on the side a little bit.
Really?
I don't do it as much as I'd like to, but
Yeah.
I kind of want to get more into it. And in high school, I did a painting of King Griffey Jr. He was my guy growing up. He was awesome.
Yeah,
still is. And I brought that painting into work one year, and he signed it for me. Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. So that's
wow.
Yeah, I need to get it framed real nice, and I'll have that hanging up someday.
That is really really cool. Man.
I was hoping he was going to be like, "Wow, this is really great. I'll give you some money to do one for my house."
Yeah,
but he didn't say that
because he probably got fucking like real professional, artists that are just throwing him ridiculous pictures. You look at like Joe Rogan; he just gets these art pieces that are just like mind blowing, so great.
A lot of talented people out there.
A lot of talented people, and if you're like one of them people that people love, they're going to give you all kinds of cool shit.
Yeah.
Now. I think my most prized piece is I have a signed Fleury jersey right before he left.
Yeah.
I played goalie. That was my guy. Marc-Andre Fleury is my dude, 100%. And that's like my most prized thing. Like, do you have any other like sticks or pucks from like pivotal like games or anything like that?
Not really. I have a few signed sticks of all our guys.
That's pretty
but
cool.
None from like
Nothing too crazy.
This was used in the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah.
Nothing like that. But I have some good stuff. I even have some stuff from the visiting guys. Like I have an Ovechkin. Like why not?
Yeah.
The equipment guys are generous. You ask for a stick, they'll give you one.
No, that's now you ask the equipment guys rather than like you're not asking Ovechkin.
No,
like,
I'm not going to ask them directly. That's kind of unprofessional. But they come to town every a few times a year. I might say, hey, can you bring me an Ovi stick next time?
That's cool though.
Yeah, no problem. And we get a lot of requests for Sid sticks.
Oh, I'm sure.
A lot of requests from
Crazy.
other players.
Absolutely.
And a lot of guys bring Sid jerseys to town and say, hey, like, can you get Sid to sign it? And Sid's so gracious; he'll do everybody's. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that there ain't a bad story about him in the world.
No.
It's like everything about it. It's like, did you listen to his podcast with that Spittin' Chicklets?
Surprisingly, I haven't. I don't know how I saw he did it, and I never sat down and listened to it.
It's just so wild to think that, like, because you always hear him just like he's humble in victory or defeat with the journalists, and like it's all just
he's genuine.
He's a genuine good guy, and like it's never a bad. You never really get that rough edge of him, but it's like. It's so cool to like hear like a raw conversation with like peers. You got Biz there and everything like that. And it's like, they're going back and forth, and it's such like a cool, I obviously like I live for podcasting because like, hearing someone talk in an hour-long conversation is like, it's leaps and bounds over like a quick 3-minute. Hey, you won tonight. What was the most memorable thing in the game? We did good. Guys did good.
Watered down.
It's watered down.
Yeah,
but it's like it's
the
so
same answer.
Like that's a concentrated dose of him, and like he never does any interviews like that.
We after we won the cup in San Jose, we were out on the ice celebrating.
Yeah,
and the Penguins are, awesome enough they flew our wives and girlfriends out.
Really?
And a lot of the
I saw that picture.
Yeah, so my wife got to come out, and she was there in Nashville too. And after about 10 minutes on the ice, I'm looking for her, and she finally made it out. And I got her, and we're running around taking pictures, trying to find the cup and all that. And I saw Sid, and my wife's met him a few times, and I'm like, take a picture with Sid. Why not? She's like, yeah, okay. So we go over to him, and this is 20 minutes after he just won the Conn Smythe and it was holding the cup.
Yeah,
and I grabbed him, and he's getting pulled in a million different directions.
Yeah,
but he turned, and I was like, Sid, can you take a picture? He's like, yeah. And my wife, she her side hustle used to be baking. She would bake desserts.
Oh yeah,
unbelievable stuff. And Sid actually had a Super Bowl party or two years ago, and he asked my wife to make some desserts for the party.
Wow.
Yeah, and she happily did. And so we're on the ice, and he's taking a picture. He puts his arm around her, and he's like, "Hey, those cookies you made for the party." He's like, "Thank you so much. They were incredible."
Like that. That's
for him
unreal.
for him to have that on his mind.
Hell yeah!
20 minutes after
that's
skating
insane.
around with the cup, I'll never forget that. That's just the kind of guy he is.
Wow!
Like
that shit gives me chills. I got chills.
It was cool.
Like that's cool to like.
That's the kind of guy he is.
That's the type of like thing that's a personal feeling. Like it's not just like hey like I'd say probably the most starstruck I've ever been in my entire life. I met Joe Rogan. Okay, I met him, and I you go up there and it's usually you tell him I'm a huge fan. Thank you so much for everything you do, and he goes, oh, thank you for being a fan and like listening, and it's like. You have your moment, but it's not, that moment is shared with everyone.
Right.
But it's like to have that moment like that where it's like a personal feeling, like a thought that they shared is like, that's a different level.
Where'd you meet him?
I met him in Columbus at the Masonic Hall in Columbus at one of his comedy shows. Probably like,
nice.
I think in 2016. But back then it's like, he always always would. It's mind blowing to me. Like they would just wait outside for 3 hours and shake every single person's hand.
That's cool.
And it's like, those are the people that like make you feel like, I don't know. It just gives me a different feeling.
Yeah.
Like that dude's rich as fuck. And it's like, and he doesn't have to do that.
Exactly. He's
and,
taking the time.
Yeah. Taking the time out of his time is valuable as hell.
Yep.
And it's just like to see the people like that is super cool. And
That's awesome.
Obviously you just talked about it. You got to be a part of 3 championship teams.
Yeah.
And so do you get a day with the cup?
Yes.
Now that's
yeah,
insane.
It's like the coolest thing ever. 2009. I really didn't know what I was going to do. And
tell me build this up for me. Like how do you know, like, do they say like, all right, here's the calendar, this is your day, you're going to have it?
Yeah, there's really not a lot of,
cause how many people get to have a day with it?
That's a good question.
Like, I didn't know if it was like people that are
try to spread it
announcers
out
and shit.
as much as they can,
Yeah.
They want everyone to
have a time with it.
Yeah. So I'm lucky. I was lucky to, we're all lucky to have a day with it. And I got a text from our like team service guy back then, and he was like, I forget the date, but he's like, July so and so Stanley Cup, and I was like, yeah, do it. I'll change my plan. Whatever I got to do.
Anything, yeah.
So a friend of a friend, his father was a big season ticket holder, and super nice guy. He had a big house in Whitehall on a dead end street. He's like, hey, I don't know what your plan is, but if you want to have a party here, I'd be happy to host it. And he's like, I'll get all the food and everything. He's like, if we just split the bill on the booze, I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So we had a party at his house, and I texted some friends, and it got really out of control. Remember in Wayne's World when he's like, and they tell 2 friends, and they tell 2 friends, and so on and so on.
What a great movie.
Yeah, I know. It was just like that.
Yeah.
So like
people
500 people showed up.
500?
I think, yeah.
Holy
there was this
shit.
line.
Is that the picture with Rick Seaback?
No. That was my in-laws' house. That
Okay.
was a couple, 16 or 17.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. I knew it was a little bit older, but
Yeah.
a good bit of people. How old are you at this time? Whenever
09, I would have been 25, 26.
Like
Yeah.
26 years old, having
Yeah.
a day with the Stanley Cup?
So we had the cup at my buddy's house there, and it was just wild. All these people just start showing up, and thank God it wasn't my parents' house. You know what I mean?
And people you don't know, too?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
And, like, looking back, it's like, I don't blame them. I mean,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
what can you do? And, like,
I would try to weasel my way in 100%.
Yeah. And my buddy that his house, his kids were in high school. They had friends, so like,
Yeah.
I don't know their friends.
Yeah.
They're right to invite people.
Yeah,
This wasn't
absolutely.
my house. So like I heard the Whitehall police just wrote like hundreds of parking tickets that night.
Oh, my goodness.
Because it was just insane.
I'll take a $50 ticket all day.
Yeah, right, for sure. But like this big long line formed, and like I didn't want it to be like that. I'd rather just have the cup there, and you go up to it, you take a picture, you hang out, you have some food, you have some drinks, and just hang out.
Yeah.
But like
It turns into something more.
it was wild.
People want their moment with it.
Yeah,
Want
exactly.
a photo with it.
Yeah.
Did
And
you you get to sip something out of it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think just Miller Lite.
That's crazy
Yeah.
though. It's like
Yeah, pretty damn awesome.
yeah, like that's
Not everyone gets to
insane.
do that.
Not everyone gets to do it. It's
I've
insane.
been blessed.
How heavy is the cup? Would you say
It's 35 pounds.
35 pounds?
Yeah.
That's
It's
that's
unbelievable.
That is
Yeah.
wild. So how so that year, we win the cup.
The 09?
Yeah.
Yeah, 09.
09, win
Yeah.
the cup.
Yep.
You're obviously in the locker room. Shit's
Yeah.
going insane. I mean,
Up in Detroit.
Is there any other better feeling in the world than being in the locker room when that shit is happening?
No, it was unreal because Detroit beat us the year before.
Yep.
And then
Like a heavy defeat.
Yeah.
Like heavy.
So 09 went 7 games, and I think the home team won every game up until game 7,
Yeah.
3-3.
Yeah,
so
because
we had
were
to win on the
3-3.
road.
Yeah.
And you heard about that text that Mario sent
Yeah,
all the players.
I've seen
like,
it. Yeah.
You have a chance to be a champion tonight. See you at center ice.
Yeah, like that's-
someone printed it and put it in the locker room, and I remember just thinking like we're gonna do it. Like
Yeah.
we just gotta win tonight. Like
My goodness.
it was wild.
can you yourself tell? Obviously, it's different. Playoff hockey is different from regular season hockey. Now, the morale, not the morale, but like the atmosphere that people are in, is it like way more tense than a regular season? Like 100%. All business, like no screwing around.
Yeah, it's I mean, we just try to do our thing and stay out of the guy's way.
Yeah,
it's pretty intense. Like,
I bet. I mean, just watching it,
any lucky bounce, any block shot,
could
change the series. You know, it just like that. It's amazing.
Oh my goodness,
yeah,
that's insane.
Yep.
So 2009, you had it,
and
that was a crazy event. 500 people.
Yeah, that party was But after the game, we we're all partying in the dressing room at Joe Louis Arena, and we got word that Mario was going to have a little thing at his house once we got back to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So we're all fired up, like, oh, we're going to Mario's house. And we flew home that night because, the flight from Detroit's like an hour.
Yeah.
It was easy. But we had to go to the arena and hang all the gear before we got to go to his house, the equipment guys.
Geez.
So we drove to Mellon Arena. And we hung the gear. It stunk like champagne. It was disgusting. Like I wanted to gag. Like it was gross.
What happens after you get covered in champagne? Is there any way to clean it?
I don't know what we did. Like I still have like my soak stained shirt. I think I might have thrown it away.
You got to spray it with a pressure washer or some shit.
But all the gear we have. It's called Sandy Sport. It's just like looks like a refrigerator. We put the gear in there and it steams it and cleans it, disinfects.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and we did that a lot these past few months with the COVID stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense too.
Yeah, just to kind of keep it clean.
So you had to hang up all that shit before you got to go.
I was driving to Mario's house at like 5 a.m. I remember the sun was coming up. I was like, this is incredible. And the cup was there, obviously. And
my goodness.
We hung out for a couple hours, and then I went home and just went to sleep that day. Yeah.
Goodness.
Never forget it. Yeah.
That is insane.
First one was my favorite, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, being that young and like experiencing that is just like,
it was wild.
That's like a movie or some shit.
Yeah.
Now, what about the second one?
That was 16, San Jose. Yep. That one was, great too. I remember I have 3 sisters, and one got married like right before that series.
Yeah.
And I'm at the wedding, and I had relatives coming up to me like, Danny, like, can we beat the Sharks? And I was like, I don't know. I'm like, they're big, like they're fast, they're a good team. I'm like, I hope so. I didn't know.
Yeah,
I mean, like, what's gonna happen.
Yeah, you don't want to jinx nothing.
Luckily, we won, and then we repeated.
Now, what'd you do What'd you do with your day that day?
In 16, I only had it for like half a day. Like I had to give it up at like 6 that evening because I think the owners had a dinner or something.
Okay.
So I didn't have it like a whole day. Like I can't complain. You know what I
No,
mean?
no. You can have it for 20 minutes. Yeah, that'd be fine.
So we had a party at up at Cool Springs in Whitehall.
Yeah.
No, that's Bethel.
Well,
the driving range.
Yeah, it's like, would you consider it?
It is Bethel, I think.
Yeah, it's like Castle Shannon type area.
I grew up right down the road.
Yeah.
So they had this big, assembly room, and my wife made all these cookies and desserts, and I invited not 1 million people, but
good bit of people.
Yeah, because it's been a while since we had the last party, and after that, I took it to my favorite bar. The Monkey Bar?
Oh, yeah. That's where you probably know the family that I'm talking about, the Briggses. Larry Briggs is an Irish guy that is there hanging around the owner at all times. He drinks Long Island teas.
I think they got out of it.
A fixture there.
I think they recently sold it.
Oh, really? The Monkey Bar?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Like within the past couple months.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think they changed it up a little bit.
Yeah, but before this, that's where they were.
Yeah. But I've been going there with my buddies for a long time, and I'm like, I got to take it there.
Yeah.
So we took it there, and I didn't tell anybody except my buddies because I don't want to show up and have a lot of people.
Yeah, 1 million
Just
people.
if you're there, and
it's going to happen. Like the word's going to spread.
Yeah. So I took it there, and we drank out of it, took pictures and all that cool stuff, and then I think the cup keeper took it after that. He had to get to the owner's dinner thing.
Yeah.
But in 17, I had it like a full day.
Yeah, I saw that you were in the paper a good bit for what you did. And now you went to Colin Dunlap's
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of that about his daughter. I feel
she's
like
a big hockey fan, and
huge hockey fan.
I knew him from my Pirate days. He was like a writer for the Pirates or something.
Yeah.
And I had invited him to the 16 party, but they couldn't make it.
Yeah.
And she had the cancer, and I knew, like, I was like, oh, that was on my mind. Like, if we win it again, like, she's got to see it.
Yeah, dude. Like, that's incredible
it was cool.
That's incredible because I was reading some of the articles because I do my research and I was just Googling you and I was like, what the hell are all these like articles coming up NBC Sports?
Right.
And
it got a lot of coverage.
It got a lot of coverage. It did. And one of the things that I read on it that like kind of stuck with me is like, I believe it said you were what, 30? Or no, 33?
33, I think.
It's just like, you know, it said like, I think it was a quote from him that said like, you know, to be someone in their early 30s who doesn't have kids and like had the idea that this is what they wanted to do, like everyone
that was a nice thing for him to say.
That's great. I mean, like that was extremely nice of you to,
I told him,
do
I'm
that.
like, hey man, like, can I come by your house real quick? He's like, absolutely. He's like, I'm not going to tell, because he's a son too.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not going to tell my kids, you know, just show up.
That is awesome.
It's pretty priceless seeing her run up to the door and I had the
Hell
thing in my
yeah.
hand. It was cool.
That is.
I only stayed about 15 minutes.
Still though, that's that's stuff you're never ever going to forget in your life.
Went on our way to make our next stops.
That's
it was cool.
Now, whenever you have your day with the cup, do you feel like a anxiety trying to like, you know, spread yourself?
Not really.
Yeah.
I remember I think the 09 year, I didn't eat the whole day. Like I was just like, it wasn't even on my mind.
Yeah.
I was like, all right. Like,
not enough time for it.
I always wanted to eat cereal out of it, but I never got that chance yet.
I feel like I saw someone do that before. I think someone posted a picture of it. Man, that's an interesting, you know, I can't even imagine that. That's insane.
So my father-in-law knows Rick Seaback a little bit. And that's how he got to come to my in-laws' house in 16.
It's so weird because that picture that I posted today with you and Rick, I posted for Rick whenever I had him on here.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe that Alan might have messaged me then or Steve and was like, you know, that dude behind him is like,
it makes sense.
Yeah, he's a equipment manager for the Pens. He's like, you should look into talking to him. And I think that's how it all started with me and you like following each other and you know, talking. And
I love Rick Seaback. He's just a legend. Like
what a legendary picture.
I love his programs. I could watch shows.
What a legendary picture. Rick Seaback with the Stanley Cup.
He was like, cool.
Holy shit.
It was awesome.
Now, being someone that is an equipment manager, do you hear about things like the gunk?
Never heard that.
The gunk is like a bacteria that some of the players get. Someone messaged me and asked if he ever heard you about it. I believe it's the reason Hossa retired.
Oh yeah, because like he was like allergic to the gear or something.
Yeah, like it had like it was some like bacterial thing. Like, do you ever notice like any sort of like, is there any sort of like players that ever have like certain things? Like for instance, like I played football my entire life.
Yeah.
My football pads used to make me like just break out crazy.
Really?
Like, do you notice shit like that you have to like, you
Thankfully, no.
Yeah.
We survived the mumps scare a few years ago. Remember the mumps?
I do remember that. That's
remember
insane.
When Sid's jaw looked like
he
had a
super crazy.
softball in his cheek?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like a big scare.
I guess that's interesting, but I started reading about that after someone was like, asked him if he ever heard about that.
Never heard of that.
And I was like,
but I remember the Hossa stuff.
Yeah, and after I started hearing about that, I was like, that's pretty interesting because being an equipment guy, you're obviously dealing with all their shit. It's like bacteria and everything is going to be big.
We try. We do what we can. Like I said, we have the Sandy Sport. A lot
that's
of teams
interesting.
use that
That
definitely helps. We try to clean it every now and again.
I never thought about that. That makes a lot of sense that you have that shit.
Yeah.
Let me see what other questions that I have.
Sure.
Oh, another question.
Yeah.
Have you ever met Steve Lattin?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He was the guy when I started.
Yeah, that's what they said. They said that he was the equipment manager back in the old Lemieux day, and then wasn't he the equipment manager for USA, Team USA
Probably,
that year?
Yeah.
I think it was.
And then he was with the Charlotte Checkers.
Charlotte Checkers.
That's Carolina Hurricanes AHL team.
Oh, I was gonna say I've never even heard of them.
I think he won a Calder Cup with them a year or two ago.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, Sevy was great. My first year, I was chilling in his office, and Mario Lemieux walked in, and you know you're a golf guy, so you'll know the reference. Sebby goes, Mario, this is Danny. And Mario walks over. He goes, Danny Noonan? And
Danny Noonan.
I go, oh, Danny Kroll. Like, the guy from Caddyshack.
Yeah, Danny Noonan.
Pretty neat. Yeah.
They're probably, do a lot of them dudes, they're big golf guys?
Yeah.
It's weird.
A lot of our guys are. And I've never played with any of them, but I know they're pretty good.
I know. That's what, you see
they love it.
Pictures and you see Oakmont will post them and shit. And you're just like, damn, like a lot of the hockey dudes are golf guys.
We went to Oakmont when we won in 16 because the U.S. Open was there.
Did you get to play there?
No, hell no.
I was going to say.
No.
It'd probably be terrible anyway.
I'd be afraid to play there.
I'd
embarrass myself.
Did you ever play up at Nemacolin?
I played Shepherd's Rock, yes.
I played Shepherd's Rock.
Yeah. The first hole was a par 5. I think I took like a 9.
Dude,
this is going to be a long day.
The worst. I went up there for a golf outing. It was a scramble, and I was like, I'll be all right. I'll be all right.
You're good in scrambles because you got 3 other shots you can rely on. Right?
I was not good. Yeah. I was just so overwhelmed. All the greens were so crazy. But it's weird how big of a deal golf is to hockey players, but I guess it makes sense
because we're not playing in the summer, so that's the perfect.
Got to have something
golf.
to do,
yeah.
Golfing or fishing and shit like that.
They took the cup to the Oakmont on that Thursday, and it poured down rain. It was muddy everywhere, and we had these credentials we could wear.
Yeah.
Not all the guys went. It was anyone who wanted to go.
Yeah.
Any golf guys. I'm like, I want to go, so I went, and we had these big credentials that said Pittsburgh Penguins, Stanley Cup champions. They were all access. We could go anywhere at Oakmont. And I asked the one gentleman, I said, hey, are these passes good for all weekend? They're like, yeah. So I took extra passes, and I brought my cousins on Saturday.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I brought my dad on Sunday because it was Father's Day that year.
Oh, yeah.
My dad's not a big golf guy, but I'm
Still.
like, Dad, free food, free drink. And
yeah.
We had a blast. It was
Oakmont
awesome.
is a huge deal. I would love to just even go walk the course and see it.
We were in a clubhouse. My cousins and I, we drank at the bar inside there all day for free.
My goodness.
It was unreal.
Yeah.
We met some of the players. Jordan Spieth.
Oh, yeah.
Shook hands with him. That's back when he was on fire.
Yeah, that's insane.
It was cool. It was really neat.
He was the young stallion just ripping shit apart.
That was one of the coolest days I ever got to have.
Yeah.
That day at Oakmont. Yep.
Yeah, golf, man. Golf and hockey is so interesting. Mm-hmm. Definitely. Then you got, it all started, I guess, I was thinking about it as I was writing some questions down.
Yeah.
And I was like, golf and hockey, they go together so well. And then I was like, Happy Gilmore. It's like,
exactly.
It's I don't know why, but it goes together so well.
It does. Yeah.
Who do you think has the loudest crowd?
Ooh. I know Philly's pretty loud when we're playing there.
Pretty insane.
Yeah.
I've went to games in Philly. I went to games in Washington.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Chicago's pretty loud.
I wish that I wanted to go to a Columbus game.
Columbus is good too. They shoot a cannon when they score a goal.
Yeah, that's insane.
Pretty loud.
It's got to be insane. But as far as whenever you're in the paint can, who do you think has the craziest rival crowd? Probably Philly. I don't know if it's Philly. It was either Philly or Columbus.
Toronto brings a lot of fans.
I don't know if I ever went to a Toronto game. Me and my cousin, we split a season ticket, and we always sold the Toronto games because they always brought the most money.
Yeah, because believe it or not, I think it's cheaper for Leaf fans to travel to Pittsburgh and come to a game here than to go to one in Toronto.
Yeah.
That's how insane it is up there.
Yeah, that's what it was. Because I think they said it was double the price if you wanted to go up there.
So when they're in town and they score a goal, you'll see these groups all around the arena in blue jerseys jumping up and screaming.
Go nuts.
Yeah, so Toronto stands out too.
Yeah. Not unless the Penn section is in there, the Freak Show Penn section, because those guys
will shut them down quick.
Yeah, we get pretty crazy in there. I think I've been to all of them with
How many have they done?
Mikey and Bob. I think we did 3 of them because one year I went with my wife, and it was and I always dress as a penguin, and I have a big ass cowbell.
Yeah,
and
I probably saw you on the Jumbotron without realizing.
A million times I've been on there.
Look at this guy.
A million times I've been on there. I had a sign that said Van Damme, I'm a Pens fan, and it has a picture of Van Damme's face from Bloodsport screaming. And
what a great movie that is.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Bloodsport's good.
Unreal. And on the other side, it said I had a fever, but I only got to utilize that I got a fever one time because. For some reason, after that first Penn section, they've never played the Christopher Walken cut again.
Oh, yeah.
Never played it again. And it's always pissed me off because
I never realized realize that.
I have to hide. You know, I'm probably never going to be allowed back in the paint can. But they tell me that I'm allowed to bring the cowbell in there, which weighs a good probably 15 pounds, 10 pounds.
Sure.
If I wanted to kill someone with it, I probably could.
Yeah.
They told me I can't bring a drumstick in there, and I was like, so I got to tuck it in my sock like a shank.
Yeah.
But
I could see that.
I get it in there, and I crack that thing, and I get wild. But the pen section, man, it's a. I hope that we could ever do that again.
I
because
know, just get back to normal. That's what
it's
we
insane.
all want.
You probably never got to experience. I mean, in the last 20 years, you never got to experience the screen, huh? You never got to be outside and enjoy the screen.
But I've seen the footage, and like it's incredible.
It's insane out there.
If we would have beat San Jose Game 5 here in Pittsburgh,
We might have burned the city down.
I told my wife, I said, I'm probably not going to come home that night because I'm not going to be able to get out.
Never.
And San Jose, they would have stayed overnight because they're not going to fly home that late,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I would have had to been there. I would have had to been back at the rink like super early to help pack them up and get them out.
I didn't think about that.
I was just going to plan to sleep there that night.
You ever sleep at the rink?
A few times.
Yeah.
Yeah, but luckily not too often.
That's good.
Yeah.
Is there like beds and shit in there for if people wanted to sleep there?
We don't have any, but there's a lot of sofas we could
crash on.
Yeah, we use shower towels for blankets or Gatorade towels.
There you go. Got to make it work.
Yeah, but I haven't slept there in a while, thankfully. There haven't been nights
Thankfully.
like that. Yeah.
Okay, a couple other things that I want to know. What is who was your favorite playoff beard?
Ooh, we had a lot of good ones.
I know there was a lot of great ones. I mean, I think preferable.
That's a good question.
My favorite was Phil's.
Yeah, Phil was awesome. And Cole sticks out.
Yeah,
he had a good one.
He had a thick ass beard,
and he's still playing now with Colorado. So
thick beard.
Yeah, I haven't caught him on TV, but I bet you his is.
You think they'll win this year?
Colorado?
Yeah.
Well, as of right now, I think they're down 0-2 in their series to Dallas.
Oh, are they? I haven't paid attention to
it. They got a tough road here coming up.
Yeah.
But yeah, they look pretty strong on paper.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. I don't know who's going to win.
I don't know either. It's a shame that it didn't. It's a shame that
I know
the season panned out how it did. But you know,
yeah, like hey, we won 3 out of the last 9. Like
what
any
can
city
you expect?
would kill to have that.
Yeah,
we've been very fortunate.
You know what I mean? Like you can't hate on that.
No, hopefully we have another run or two ahead of us here with Sid and Gino.
Oh yeah,
we'll see.
You got to. You could feel it.
Yeah.
Who's your most missed player?
Flower.
Yeah,
Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yeah,
he was the best.
It's now
that's an easy one.
I mean, he. I went to the first game he came back with Vegas.
That was, what a special night that was.
Man, I was crying.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even know why. I was just looking around and I was like, "What's going on?" And I'm just like,
"Isn't that crazy what sports will do to you?"
And you're just like, I mean, for being like a fan, obviously you know them more on a different level, but like for being on a fan, it's just like he seemed like, like that. There's no one that has more joy in his life, you know what I mean? Like, just seemed like a silly goose, just having fun with people,
just like a big kid.
Is there a lot of pranks that go around in the locker room?
Not a ton, but he was usually behind any that you would see.
He was usually it.
I've seen him. He some of the rookies back in the day, he would get to the hotel early and take all their furniture out of the whole room, even the bed, and put it in the hallway. Everything, the dressers, the lamps. I don't know how he did it, but he did it.
That's those are good memories, though. I mean, those are good stories to hear.
One time before practice, all the guys are getting dressed, and we had The Price is Right on TV.
Yeah,
and he was watching it. Everyone was, they're getting dressed, they're just glancing at the TV, and the girl she was playing one of those dice games or something, and when she won, he was genuinely clapping for her.
That's
like,
awesome.
He was happy to see this girl on TV win a prize game. I'm like, this guy, he's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's cut from a different cloth. I got that signed Fleury jersey that I got. I ended up signing up for a giveaway that was on Twitter. It was one of them giveaways that's like,
I heard you mention this on another.
Yeah,
episode.
it was like enter to win this shit.
And got the call.
I got the call and I almost didn't answer it.
Yeah.
But it's like you see them contests on Twitter and stuff like that. You never think that they're real.
I know, right?
And the PR person, they were like, tell your friends to enter. No, everyone thinks that they're fake, but like, just enter. You obviously won. I want a shitload of stuff, whole package at Seven Springs,
awesome.
all kinds of stuff. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to get to before we get to the ending segment.
Okay.
So like, what are your plans? Obviously, you got a dope job.
It's good. Yeah,
it's a good job. I'm sure that you have no ambitions to leave. So like, what are your plans in life? You know what I mean?
That's a good question.
I know it's a loaded question.
No. I don't know. After this, I just want to stay in sports.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love doing the photography. I didn't mention that earlier. I love taking pictures. I like the painting and drawing, but I don't know how far you can take stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Just want to keep doing the sports thing and see what happens.
Stick with the sports.
Yeah. For good or bad, a lot of it's who you know in the sports world.
Oh, yeah.
So I've made a lot of contacts.
In the whole world.
Maybe someone can help me out down the road if I want to do something else. You meet a lot of people and you got to make good contacts. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. All right, so a couple of things before we get to the ending segment. I want to know your absolute favorite memory that you could think of. I mean, we probably touched on it with the 09 Cup.
Sure.
But now, what's your worst memory? I mean, we talked about all the highlights of everything, but what about 08? Like whenever we get beat and like what's that feeling like?
I remember watching Detroit skate on the ice with the cup at Mellon Arena.
Yeah.
And it just didn't look real. It looked like a video game or something.
Yeah.
I was like, what the? And then another that night, same thing from that night. Ryan Malone, the local guy.
Yeah. Tattoos.
Yep.
Yeah.
He sat at his locker for a good hour before taking off his jersey because that was his last game as a Penguin, and I think we all knew it.
Yeah.
He went to Tampa after that, I think, and he was just crushed, because it's so hard to get that far. And,
you're all the way there.
Yeah, you're at the very end.
It's all the way there, and it's gone.
On your home ice too.
And then you got to do it all over again if you want to.
For us to come back and win, that was incredible.
God.
Yeah, against the same team.
Yeah.
And the whole Marian Hossa stuff.
That makes it even better.
Switching teams. Yeah.
It makes it juicier.
It was unbelievable.
That's probably the most sad memory, though.
Yeah.
Got to be, right?
Yeah.
I don't think anything hurt worse than that.
Yeah. On a much lesser scale, this is kind of funny. It was probably my first year. We were in New Jersey at their old rink, and Mark Recchi was playing for us still. And he came off the bench. He came off the ice after the period, and he goes, "Hey," he's like, "Danny, can you cut me a new stick?" I'm like, "Sure." And he gave me his current stick so I can match up where I need to cut it. So I pulled a new stick out of the bag, and I grabbed the handsaw and I lined it up, which I thought was good, and I sawed it and I ran it back to him, and he matched it up with his game stick, and I was like way off. And he was so not mad, but he was just frustrated. He looked at it, he's like, "Just give us one away." And I was like, "Oh, I felt like such an idiot." And thankfully we won that night. Because on the plane ride home, he walked by me to get to his seat.
Yeah.
I was like, "Rex, sorry about that stick, man." He's like, "Oh, no, don't worry about it." I felt like an ass. I'm like, "Come on."
Now, that brings up, you guys are on these planes. Like, what, I see that they're playing video games, poker. You ever get in on any of them games?
No, that's pretty much just the players. In the back. The coaches and staff, we always would sit up front.
Yeah.
Not that we weren't allowed back there.
No, I get it.
We're not back there mingling with them. It's just how it is.
Understandable.
Yeah.
It's understandable for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so the ending segment of the podcast that I do with everyone that I'm most excited about. I feel like we could talk forever. We're already about to be at 2 hours.
This is great.
So the ending segment that I talk to, or the ending segment that I do with each of my guests, is a segment called Desert Island Questions.
Yeah.
Everybody gather up, please. I think this is a perfect opportunity for all of us to participate in some really intense, psychologically revealing conversations. So we're going to be playing Desert Island. Desert Island. Desert Island.
Desert Island Questions is whenever I give each guest 3 categories to take with them on a desert island to exhaust until expulsion. Mm-hmm. So the first category is 3 things to watch on a desert island. Movies, TV shows, whatever.
I thought about this a little bit, and I'm a big movie guy.
Me too.
For me, I love those 80s comedy classics.
Okay.
You know, we mentioned Caddyshack earlier.
Yeah.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High is another.
So good.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Yep.
I love those movies.
Yeah.
But I'd have to say Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, yeah.
Larry David.
Yeah.
That's just one of the best shows ever.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. That guy's incredible.
I never watched Seinfeld, but I've watched some of Curb.
Yeah.
And it's
I was
hilarious.
a big Seinfeld guy. I've seen every episode, 50 times like most
I
people.
bet.
But Curb Your Enthusiasm, unbelievable. I haven't seen the last 1 or 2 seasons. I need to catch up, but I would pick that.
Okay.
Another thing, Kingpin.
Oh, too good.
You know Kingpin?
Hell yeah.
That's one of my favorite movies. And
Yeah,
it was
Bigger
cool
on the
to-
Kraken.
Oh, yeah.
I
Legend.
know all about it.
And a lot of it was filmed in Pittsburgh.
I just referenced that last night because my
Yeah.
cousin's kid, she's about to be like 1, or she was 1, and
Sure.
like her hair looked just like his
Bigger.
hair at the
Yeah.
end whenever it's just all flipped over. I
So
looked
classic.
up how much to buy a bowling ball was with a rose in it. It's a lot. It's like $6.50.
Really?
Oh yeah,
I heard the one he used in the movie was just like a cheap plastic one that they found
yeah,
at a store for like $15, and they're like, "That's bigger and that's perfect."
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I looked it up because I wanted it. And,
Wouldn't that be sweet to have?
Yeah, it was a lot of money because I think shipping itself was like $100.
Oh, right.
Because of the weight of it, and then
Damn.
it came as a ball. You would have had to pay to get the holes drilled in. It was a whole process, so that's why I didn't do it.
Yeah.
I looked up that one. You remember that movie Mystery Men?
Don't know that. No. Sorry.
It was a movie with like Warren Beatty and like Gina or Gina or what's
Gina
her name?
Davis?
No, Garofalo. Janine Garofalo.
Yeah. She's funny.
You had Kel from Keenan and Kel.
Oh,
then you
yeah.
had Pee Wee Herman. But they were like all this like band of like weird like people with superheroes. And Janine Garofalo had a bowling ball with a skull that was her dad's head. It was her dad's skull on
Whoa.
it. I looked up that because those were the only 2 bowling balls I ever wanted because those are the
wild.
only 2 like movie bowling
Yeah.
balls that ever like really stuck out.
That's funny because like there wasn't one in the Big Lebowski that stands out.
I know. Because that's what movie you think about whenever you're bowling.
Yeah.
So you can get like the Jesus shirt, the purple
Yeah,
Jesus shirt,
right.
and everything, but
Yeah.
like you're never gonna have like none of them had like a super cool ball
No.
or anything like that.
That's another classic.
What a classic! So you got Curb, you got
Kingpin.
Kingpin.
Man, third one will be tough. I'll tell you, currently, my wife and I are watching Ozark.
Unreal.
Pretty
How
good,
far are
huh?
you in?
We're behind. We just started season 3. So we got a little bit to go.
Buckle up.
Yeah.
It's a wild ride.
Yeah, I can't wait.
All it is anxiety. The whole show.
I know, right?
Did you ever watch Uncut Gems with Adam
Yeah,
Sandler?
We did watch that.
Jesus, 5 minutes into the movie
I
till the
know.
exact ending second, you're just like,
That was really good.
it was great because, like, people were like, I had so many people that were like, Uncut Gems was terrible, and I'm like, dude,
No.
it's like literally The Waterboy, Little Nicky.
Yeah.
He's done 94 garbage movies on Netflix. What do you want from the dude?
Right.
You know what I mean? What
Yeah.
do you want from the dude? That's an incredible
a
movie.
really good movie.
Okay, do you read it all?
Well, I still haven't picked the third show.
Oh, you didn't?
Well, I mentioned Ozark.
I
But
guess,
I
yeah.
don't know if Ozark, but I don't know if I
Pick the third one then.
I'll tell you what. My wife got me hooked on Law and Order SVU.
Really? That's one
Yeah.
thing that I've never watched. It's been an answer on here 100
It's
times.
really good, and they've had like 25 seasons.
It got to be like
500
that.
Episodes.
It's like CSI.
You watch that opening scene, and you get sucked
Dum,
in for the
dum,
next
dum,
hour.
dum, dum,
Yeah.
dum. That's like, it just reminds me of waking up at like 2 a.m.
I know,
and just
yeah.
like hearing that.
We watch it quite a bit.
All right, so Law and Order.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd pick that though.
Yeah, I feel like you can't take it on a desert island.
No.
Who wants to watch that?
right.
Someone's getting killed, someone's getting raped.
Yeah,
Come on.
It's some ugly stuff. Man, for my third. Damn.
Take a second. I'll cut out downtime.
Okay. You know what? I might pick Rudy.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm not a big Notre Dame fan, but I appreciate the history and all of it.
Yeah.
That movie's awesome.
Yeah, the movie is cool.
It's
Like,
one of the best. And
Sean Austin.
I'll admit, I even tear up at the end sometimes I've seen it.
It's a good
I'll
movie.
admit it.
I want the underdog to win. The little guy.
Rudy's really good.
You
Yeah,
can't
so
beat it.
I got to pick a sports movie.
Sean Austin was he was a pivotal person in our.
I
You ever see the
know.
movie Toy Soldiers?
No.
He's probably like 17 or 18 in it, and it's him and a couple other 80s actors, but they're like at a boarding school.
Yeah.
And terrorists come and take over this school. Man, it's a slept-on movie. So good.
I'll put it on my radar.
Toy Soldiers.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
a good one.
All right.
Okay, do you read it all?
I do, but not crazy.
I didn't want you to say yes.
No, that's okay.
No, but that's why I had another question ready to ask. So, if you had to pick 3 of your favorite hockey movies instead of books,
There's not many hockey movies out there. Youngblood's pretty good.
yeah, I was
Rob Lowe?
Yeah, absolutely.
Slapshot, obviously.
yeah,
That's iconic.
yeah,
And maybe even the first Mighty Ducks.
yeah,
But I do read.
yeah. What do you read then?
I like, you know what? I like autobiographies, biographies.
Yeah.
I probably knocked out 5, 6, or 7 books during this pandemic.
I bet.
Yeah.
What about like who?
Let's see what I read a book called Ticketless. It was about this kid from St. Louis who just weaseled his way into sporting events without
Really?
a ticket. And I'm talking Super Bowl.
Oh yeah,
The Masters.
Is this recent?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
within the past
I
10
think I've
years.
seen him online
It
somewhere.
was really good. I read that in a few days, a few months ago.
Ticketless.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting.
He got into some big events, just somehow sneaks in.
There's
World
one-
Series games.
I know. I think
was
was it
good.
the same guy who went to like the Grammys?
I don't think so. 'Cause
Like-
he didn't mention that.
The one dude literally just wore a
Yeah.
like a shirt, and he was carrying a bag of like ice or
Yeah,
some
act
shit,
like you're
and
supposed to be there.
literally walked right
Isn't
in. He
that
was
wild?
like, it was the easiest thing I've ever done.
Kind of scary.
Yeah, it is kind of scary to think about that.
I read another book about this this guy who played every golf course in Scotland.
Really?
That was pretty good.
Wow.
My wife got me that one, and then he did another book. He went to all the courses in Ireland.
Jeez.
Yeah, imagine
Ireland
doing
looks
that.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Would that be fun?
It would be insane to play
Yeah.
over there.
I recently read Anthony Kiedis' book.
Oh
Red Hot
yeah,
Chili
I
Peppers.
heard it
That
was crazy.
wild.
What's it called? Scar Tissue, right?
Yeah, Scar Tissue.
Yeah,
That was wild.
I heard he's a
That
wild
dude.
wild
Ever since
guy.
he was a kid, man. That
I
was
love
really good.
I love all them stories of them. Like, you know, I read like Stairway to Heaven Uncensored, like
Oh,
Led
that'd be
Zeppelin
good.
and shit.
I would
And
love that.
it's just
Yeah,
like
I don't like. I never got into Harry Potter or
I love the
all
movies.
that. See,
I love the movie.
No, like Game of Thrones. Never.
I never watched any of
I
that.
don't watch any of that.
Harry Potter,
that
I
stuff's-
liked. Lord of the Rings, I was whatever on. Star Wars, you know, I liked
of
it.
that's for
I
me.
liked it whenever I was younger, but
Yeah,
I was watching
I
like
don't like all that crap.
I was watching shit like horror movies, Shawshank Redemption,
I love that.
Desperado, you know,
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that.
Sure. Yeah,
But
yeah.
all right, so those are some good books, all right?
Yeah. What else did I read? I just read Dan Rudy's autobiography.
How was that?
It was real. I'm a big Steelers fan,
Yeah.
like everyone else around here.
Yeah.
Maybe not you. I know you're not a football guy,
I played football my entire
Yeah.
life.
but that book was really good just to learn about the history of the Steelers.
Yeah, I would
learned a
be
lot of stuff
interested
I
in
didn't
that.
know.
I would be interested. I don't
Yeah.
really know too much about
He
him.
wrote
would
it.
be
I think it
interesting.
came out right before he died.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think it's maybe like 10 years old. That book. I just finished that. That was pretty good. So yeah, I read a lot of sports books.
Yeah. Did you watch The Last Dance?
Oh yeah,
I thought that was unreal.
Religiously.
I thought it was unreal
I was
good.
zoned in at 9:00 every Sunday night.
I binged it.
It was wild. Oh really?
Yeah.
All 10.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't binge it because I had to wait until they came out online to watch
Oh, right.
them.
It's on Netflix now, I believe.
Now it's on Netflix, so you
Yeah.
can rip right through that thing.
Because when they originally aired, they did 2 episodes a night.
Yeah,
It was just
2
5 weeks.
episodes.
Yeah,
and that's why I thought that I was binging it. I was watching 2 a night because I remember it'd be like 2 hours. But
it was really good.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone was fired up for that to come out.
yeah,
Especially with no sports on.
It's
no
hard
live
for me
sports.
to like, you know, really like gravitate towards like watching like the sports documentaries and stuff. But
Yeah.
like that was just I never loved basketball at all.
Yeah, it's
But
NBA's not that good.
It's like to watch the greatest player of all time
I know.
of a sport, like
He's
you
the
know,
man.
It's so cool to like see what it was like. My favorite parts were just seeing him like in the locker room, like them flipping them quarters against the wall.
know. So
It's like-
competitive.
yeah, like I love all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's like and it exudes out of these freak athletes.
Uh-huh.
And I'm sure that it's just like whether it's kicking up a soccer ball,
Yeah.
warming up, or if it's just like something stupid like throwing a
Exactly.
piece of paper
They
in a
wanna win.
wastebasket.
Absolutely.
It's like born to win. Born to
that's
win.
how they're wired.
All right, so third category, 3
Yeah.
things to listen to.
Okay, I'll give you 3 artists I like. And
Okay.
I'm all over the place.
That's all right.
I like everything. They used to be my guilty pleasure band, but now like Hall & Oates. They're incredible.
It ain't nothing guilty pleasure there.
When I was younger, I was like, yeah, I like Hall & Oates.
Man, Rich Girl.
I know,
I
right?
listened to it a million times.
I've seen them in concert 2 or 3 times.
Is it a good live show?
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Someone hit me up from what's the name of the Burgettstown now? They change it every week.
Now it's
Keystone or something, or Key Bank.
It might be.
Who knows?
I
Regardless,
think it changed again. It was First Niagara Pavilion.
It was, and I think it was Key Bank
Pavilion. I can't keep up.
Some girl who works for like their marketing, she was like, "Hey, do you want to like team up and do like we'll give you some tickets and then you can give a pair of them away."
Yeah.
She was like, "Pick any concert you want to," and there was like Korn.
Oh, I'd go to that too.
I wanted to, but it's like
They were going to be one of my 3.
Korn.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean that's why I said it. Like that was the second choice, but I picked Hall & Oates. But obviously the COVID should happen. But Korn, I felt that if I did a giveaway with you can go see Korn. I got a broad range of people that listen to this. I don't know how many people would be like into going to see Korn. Like I would love it, but
I didn't like Korn back when they were big, like 20 years ago. But now I like them. It's weird. Like I
haven't listened to anything new they've done in. Have they put out new stuff?
I think a couple years ago. Now Jonathan Davis is doing some solo stuff.
The last thing that I've ever heard from Korn was the Coming Undone remix.
Oh yeah.
With what was it, the East Side Boys? Or not? No, that's Lil Jon and the East Side Boys.
No, I don't know.
But that was our highlight tape for high school, like our football highlight tape.
Yeah, get you fired up.
I'm coming on. So
That's
it'd be people
awesome.
running in.
Yeah.
And like that's what I loved about it.
So I like them and like Godsmack and Disturbed.
Yeah.
Cool story about Disturbed. They did a show at PPG Paints a year or 2 ago.
Yeah.
And one of the building guys messaged me and said, "Hey, a couple of the guys from Disturbed are hockey fans. They were wondering if they can get a tour of the dressing room. Are you around by any chance?"
Wow.
I'm like, "Yeah, hell yeah." I said, "I'm coming to the show.
I'm at the house right now, but I'll be there in a second.
I'll be there in 10 seconds." But I was there. I'm like, "Yeah, I'd be happy to." So they arrange it. They're like, "All right, you there?" Like they're ready. I said, "Sure." So it was like the drummer and one of the guitarists. It wasn't the main guy that does the wah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. It wasn't him. It was a couple of the other guys, and they were super cool. Like they asked me like questions about, just like you did, about equipment and superstitions, and like I had Matt Murray's mask and I handed it to him. He's like, "Am I allowed to hold it?" I'm like, "Sure."
Wow, perfect.
Like, yeah.
Who's your your favorite goalie mask?
Brian Hayward, San Jose Sharks, like 1993.
I don't know what it looked like.
It's just a shark mouth.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Man.
The greatest of all time.
I was thinking about it, and I love the moose. I loved it.
Yeah, Hedberg was cool.
I loved it.
Yeah, I had a Brian Hayward poster on my door back then.
I'm going to have to Google that after.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty dope.
You'll know when you see it.
I will probably know it after I see it. I feel like that was one of the, like, the generic, almost like the New Jersey Devil, like Marty Brodeur.
Oh, his is
Remember,
iconic.
like, you would go to, like, Dick's, and, like, you would either be able to buy, like, a Marty Brodeur, like, full face goalie mask, or they had, like, I can't remember who else they had there, but I feel like that the
Maybe
Sharks
like
might have been.
Waugh or something.
Yeah, probably Patrick Waugh,
He was
actually.
another big one.
Okay. What were we?
So I was talking about Korn.
Yeah, Korn.
Hall & Oates.
Hall & Oates.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw Hall & Oates at PPG Paints, and it wasn't that great, but I also saw them over at Stage AE.
Probably great there.
So, yeah.
A little bit more personal.
The place was it was like shorter, and we were up close, and you're outside. It was way better than being in the big arena.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And a third band would be Pink Floyd.
Oh, that would
Love
be.
Pink Floyd.
That's good.
Yeah.
Can't beat that.
My wife and I went to Italy in 2018.
Yeah.
Unbelievable trip. And I knew that Roger Waters was touring at the time. And sure enough, he was in Rome while we were there. So I
Really?
told my wife, I said, "I got to get tickets." She's like, "All right, yeah, sure."
You saw Roger Waters in Rome?
In Rome. Yeah, it was called
Holy
Circus Maximus.
shit.
It was like it was an old like chariot racing field. So
Jesus.
there weren't even seats. It was just like a dirt field, and people were sitting on the hillsides, and you could go down on the floor. We were like way in the back, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? But we had a view of the stage.
Still, that's awesome.
We were outside, and it was one of the coolest things ever. I bought tickets through like a third party seller.
Yeah.
And I was nervous that they were going to be fake. They came in the mail and like they looked legit, like they had a hologram on them. And we went up and got in, and luckily they were real, and it was a really cool show.
It's always sketchy trying to get some tickets
I know.
from people. Like going
Especially
down to
Italy. You're in Italy.
I know.
Like,
That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
even at the arena down there, like I get sketched out trying to buy tickets, but sometimes like I remember
Never know.
I remember we were playing the Senators in one of the playoffs. I can't remember when it was, but it was whenever I'm pretty sure it was Civic Arena. I'm pretty sure it was, but I remember
We did
getting
play them
tickets.
back then, in the playoffs.
I remember
Probably.
I got tickets with they were like $35, I think, and they were like row like G or something.
Okay.
So they were pretty good seats, and it was
Yeah.
right behind the net, but it was like 4 or 5 minutes into the first period, and the guy was like trying to like get me some crazy number, and I was like, bro, you're gonna waste these tickets. I was like, I'll give you $70 for both of these right now. And I stick to my guns. I started walking away. It was
Yeah.
pouring down rain too.
Oh, man.
I remember I had a trash bag on it because we went to that hotel right across the street,
Yeah, Marriott.
the Marriott,
Yeah.
because we were all getting dumped on with rain.
Yeah.
So I grabbed trash bags for me and my buddy, and then I was like, dude, you could take $70 right now or take nothing and stand in the rain
Yeah,
and
he's
try to
gonna have to
peddle
eat
these
'em.
tickets. And we ended up getting in there, and it was a good
Awesome.
game. We ended up winning too.
Awesome.
That was dope though. But yeah, in Italy, I'd be afraid. I
was
would
really cool.
Immediately just think of Taken. You know, the movie Taken.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't know.
The show went on till like well after midnight. It wasn't like here.
Oh yeah.
It's like they don't have like time. What I don't know. Like
Yeah, it was
'cause
just like
out
experience.
out at the pavilion at Burgestown. Like
People are
they have
gone
to
by
s-
11.
they have to stop at 11, right?
Yeah, I think
there's a
so. Something like
ordinance
that.
or something.
But then you're in the parking lot for 2 more hours.
I know. The next night we went to a legit Italian opera out there in Rome.
How was that?
It was awesome. You know, that was my wife's thing, obviously, but I enjoyed it, and
Yeah.
that went like till well over midnight too. It was
Really?
like, they didn't. It's so carefree over there. It's
That's
just
pretty
laid
interesting.
back. You go to dinner and like they're not trying to kick you out. You know, you could sit there for 4 hours.
Yeah.
and you're like, hey, can we have our check? We're
Yeah.
done. it's cool.
That's cool though.
Yeah.
All right, so third to last thing we talk
Sure.
about is the death row meal.
Yeah. This is a funny one. There's a food cart in New York City called the Halal Guys.
Yeah.
The original cart is on 53rd and 6th. That would be my pick.
Halal guys.
It's incredible. It's like Middle Eastern food. It's
Yeah.
like gyro or chicken meat.
yeah.
And they put it in a tin dish with this like bright orange rice and lettuce and pita bread and then the special white sauce. Dude, it's amazing.
My mouth is
Like,
watering.
Yeah.
You ever eat at Salim's down here?
No. Where's that? Southside?
About to change your life, dude.
have to go.
Salim's is in the Strip.
Okay.
All Middle Eastern food.
Okay.
They got everything from, you can get goat, shawarma, to Philly cheesesteaks and burgers.
Wow.
Telling you,
gotta check it
I
out.
slept on it for so long.
Okay.
I always knew it was there. People have always told me about
Yeah.
it. We go all the time now. They have like chili chicken is
Wow.
like, I can't say enough great things about it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to interview the guy who owns that now. Me and him are talking back and forth, but I
Yeah.
promise you that if you go there and you get food and you dislike it, I'll Venmo you money for your
Sounds
meal.
good. That's a deal.
that's how confident I am. The only two places in this city I could say I'm confident in is Salim's and Streets on Carson.
yeah.
You can't beat it.
Right.
Can't beat it with a stick.
Yeah,
Okay. Halal guys.
Yeah, my wife and I went to New York one summer before we were married, and we had a hotel somewhere down near Times Square, and every night walking back to the hotel, we see this crazy long line
Yeah.
at this food cart, like at least 50 people.
Yeah.
And it's like 11 or 12 at night. I'm like,
Yeah,
look at this
that's
place.
that's nuts.
So I did some research, and when I went back the next season with the Penguins, we were playing the Rangers. I went and tried it, and I was like, "This is
Blown away.
unbelievable." I get it every time I'm there. And now they've branched out. Like they're in Philly, they're in Boston, they're
Really?
in DC. Yeah, I've messaged them. I'm like, "Bring one to Pittsburgh." And they probably never will. But
Yeah. That's cool though.
another thing I would pick is there's a sub shop in Monroeville called Car Hops.
Car hops.
Yeah,
I feel like someone else has
it's
told me
unbelievable.
about that.
There used to
on
be
here.
one in Dormont on West Liberty.
Car hops.
But it's been closed a long time. And then they were in the Strip for a while, but that one didn't last. But there's still one in Monroeville.
They got good hoagies there.
Yeah, but I like, it's called their Turbo Fries.
Turbo
It's just a
fries.
plate of fries that they like drown in hot sauce.
Oh, I love
You have
that.
to eat it with a fork because they get a little soggy.
Give me all that.
They're unbelievable.
Yeah, I'll take all that. I
But
love
all,
the hot
all their
sauce.
sandwiches are named after cars.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's like a Corvette chicken.
That's pretty cool.
There's like a Coupe de Ville. It's really good.
Did you ever hear about this place called Back to the Food Sure? It's a place that just opened recently in Pitcairn, and they have like these insane burgers with like you can get anything from like glazed donut burgers to like they have like crazy stuff there, but it's all like 80s theme. Like their restaurant has like all like Back to the Future shit, all 80s stuff.
Oh, I love that.
That's been on my radar recently as well. I love they do some wings there. It looks good.
I like to think I know all the places around here, but you just brought up two that I never heard of.
Dude,
so
I
I'm
got so
excited
many
to
people that
get out
message
there.
me shit because like I'll always talk about if I eat good food places.
Yeah.
People will be like, you got to try this. Like I've gotten like berated to go to Salim's by like probably 7 different people that are just like, you got to go to
gotta
this
be
place.
great.
And it's
Yeah.
you go there and it's basically just like a hot bar. You could order online or you get in line and you could they have a menu that's huge.
Wow.
And I swear to God, everything that I've had there is unreal. And
Sounds good, man.
You got to go, but
I plan to, no doubt.
second to last thing we do.
Yeah.
Sponsored by Turner's Premium Tea. We got something called the Turner's Crate. I get everyone to put a question that they think of themselves in this Turner's Crate, and I have the listener or of the guest pick it. I'm trying to mix them up because I swear people pick the same.
That's what you say, yeah.
Dude,
Same-
every time.
Same ones.
Look how many pieces of paper in here. There got to be 70 pieces of paper in here. Everyone picks the same shit.
All right, let's see what we got. Maybe we'll get a rare one.
I hope so.
It's from Jay Swanick,
Yeah, Jay Swanick.
episode 10.
Episode 10.
This is an oldie.
That's an old one. I don't think that one's ever been picked.
Okay, it says, if you wrote a book that was not an autobiography, what kind would it be? That's easy for me. Something sports related, like
Sports.
all my experiences
Yeah,
working
absolutely.
in pro sports for the past 20 years.
100%.
That's an easy one for
That's
me.
an easy book to read.
Yeah,
because
a lot of
I'm
behind the scenes stuff. Maybe.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I think I'd do that.
That would be, that's a good answer.
Yeah.
All right. Last question that I ask everyone
Yeah.
is if you could have a conversation with anyone alive or dead, who would it be and why?
Probably, I thought about this one a little bit too. I kept coming back to Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth.
Just being a baseball nut, and
Yeah.
I admire the history of the game.
Yeah, it would be interesting.
That dude was like larger than life.
Yeah.
Like, I'd love to like just chat with him about being the man.
Yeah.
I
I can't even imagine what that would be like to
Yeah,
be like the first back then was like he was like the
from-
first like big sports guy.
And like Americana,
Yeah.
not just sports. Like he was larger than life.
Yeah.
Like just to chat with him would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
I
that
think.
would be
Yeah,
that's
There's
a good
lot
answer.
Of great answers, but like
that's a
he
good
stands
answer.
out because like sometimes he doesn't even seem real.
Yeah.
Like in the Sandlot. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, exactly. Well, it's because for me, I'm a little bit younger than you, and it's like,
Yeah.
Babe Ruth. The only thing I really know of Babe Ruth is what we know from the Sandlot. I never watched baseball back then. I didn't know.
There's not a lot of footage from back then.
Yeah,
you know
there
what I
wasn't
mean?
footage
Just know
really.
he hit a ton of home
You just have
runs.
that little clip of him just like
Yeah.
with the bat, but there's not like a bunch of footage of him.
Not
so
interviews or anything.
yeah, so you don't really know like his character or anything like that. That's a really good answer though.
There's a lot of books out about him.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I think I'd say Babe Ruth.
All right, that's a good answer, dude. I could not thank you enough for coming over and talking to me
Thanks
about
for
all
having
this.
me, man.
This was
Glad
fantastic.
you thought that I'm interesting enough to
Hell
have
yeah.
a podcast. That's
I mean,
awesome.
I got 3 cup rings. I knew you had some
Yeah.
good stories to talk about.
Hopefully another one coming out. We'll see.
We got to have one coming
Wouldn't
soon.
that be nice?
Take a second and promote whatever. I know you said you ain't a big social media guy, but
I'm really not.
What do you want to
I-
promote? Go,
I-
hey, buy some Penguins merchandise,
Yeah,
buy some
heck yeah.
tickets, support our boys.
Hopefully everyone's back at the arena soon.
Yeah, I hope so, dude.
I hope. We
I
all
hope so.
I just have my Instagram, DKroll24. I know you've kind of posted it a few times
Yeah.
here. So and then our equipment staff, we have a Twitter page. It's now Penguins EQ.
Oh, really? I didn't know this.
Penguins EQ. So all 4 of us have access to it. We all post whatever.
Hell yeah! I'm about to jump on that now.
It's probably pretty quiet now, but once we get rolling again, we'll start posting stuff.
Penguins EQ.
Yeah,
All right.
that's it.
I
That's
mean,
all I got.
Follow his Instagram. D Kroll, what's the number?
24.
D Kroll 24. Got a lot of good pictures on there.
Yeah, I'm not as active on there as I used to be, but I'll try to.
Someone like me, I post quantity over quality. You post quality over quantity.
Yeah, thanks. That's
It's
a good way
like-
of putting it.
Yeah, that's what it is. Because when you post a picture, you got a banger post there.
I would hope to. Yeah, see a lot of cool stuff.
Everyone else that's listening, appreciate it as usual. Please take a second to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. It's a big help for me. 5 stars only. Keep that negativity out here. You know, we got to deal with a short hockey season. That's enough negativity. We got to keep this this positive train rolling. Rate, review, subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, dkroll24. I'll call you right back. Check the website, I'llcallyouRightback.com. We got mugs on there, t-shirts, and I got some good shit coming up as usual. So I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for listening. I'll call you right back.